So, wir sind wieder online. Quantum Suicide Stream Nummer 7, glaube ich. Und wir waren beim letzten Mal hier. So. Wo sind wir? Wie üblich. Sora tot. Lamir tot. Yoshiki ist jetzt tot. Wir sind beim letzten Mal gejumpt. Haben einen Teil des Codeswort bekommen. Aspera. Den wir auch schon woanders gehört haben. Und jetzt gucken wir mal, wie es weitergeht. I made my way back to my quarters, placed the watch on the bedside table and hopped into bed. I wanted to sleep. I needed to sleep. But the recent revelations were just too big to ignore. Perhaps I should speak with someone about it. A fresh perspective might just be what I needed. Wird bestimmt nicht Nicholas sein, huh? I got out of bed and headed to the Vogel's quarters with the pocket watch in my hand. If I could trust anyone, counsels would be Nicholas. I arrived at the quarters and pressed the intercom button. I waited for a minute or so with no response. Perhaps waking Nicholas up this early was not the wisest of choices. It was 4:50 a.m. after all. I turned to leave when I heard Nicholas' voice call to me from the doorway.
Is that you?
Good morning.
It certainly is, being just before 5 a.m. I'm struggling to see the good part of good morning, though. Perhaps you could enlighten me.
Nicholas smiled as he rubbed his drowsy eyes before replacing his glasses. Come with me to the kitchen and I'll explain it over a drink.
It is a bit early to start drinking.
Not alcohol. Make you a coffee or whatever you like.
Very well.
Once there, Nicholas took a seat as I started preparing his drink. Coffee?
Tea, please.
Do you not like coffee?
It is neither a love nor hate relationship.
Do you take milk in your tea?
Please.
I gathered what I needed from around the kitchen to preparing his beverage.
So, to what do I owe the pleasure of 5 a.m. tea?
My parents' research.
Well, they had better be counting their lucky stars that they are already dead.
Nicholas grinned before catching himself and looking at me to see if I was offended.
Sorry, is it too soon to make jokes such as these?
Mir kommt auch ein bisschen die Audioqualität. Klingt ein bisschen anders gerade von Nicholas. Ich frage mich, ob das mit dem heutigen Update zusammenhängt. Ja, vielleicht merken wir es bei den anderen. If we can bond over dead parents, what can we bond over?
I was sure that we had other things in common.
Oh, like what? We're both in a spaceship. Beide männlich, gut aussehend.
You are correct. We are both orphans suspended in space.
I chuckled merrily as I handed him his drink.
So, what is so important that you thought it prudent to wake me at this hour?
This. Pulled the watch out and placed it on the counter in front of Nicholas. The kitchen glowed with an eerie green tinge, the light bouncing off the clean, polished surfaces.
Is it working?
I think so.
Is that not good news?
I'm unsure what will happen if I press the button. Nicholas suddenly reached out and pinched my cheek hard. Ow, what the hell?
What?
What do you mean, what? You just pinched me.
I did.
Do I really have to ask why?
I was unsure what would happen.
So then why did you pinch me?
Why did you not pinch me back? Or even punch me?
I don't want to.
Point proven.
What point?
Sometimes things just work out in our favor.
Couldn't you just say that, Dan?
I must admit, I just really wanted to pinch you.
Skid you up. Nicholas grinned like a cheeky schoolboy as I rubbed my stinging cheek.
So, what are you going to do?
I don't know.
How about you take the rest of the morning off and really think this one through?
Guess that's all I can do right now. Spiel nicht gleich Vampire's Child? Nicholas nodded in agreement.
When you do decide on a course of action, please tell me.
Why?
Just in case pressing the button turns you inside out, I want a front row seat.
Well, thanks. This fills me to the brim with confidence.
Thank you for filling me to the brim with tea. Good night.
Nicholas waved at me as he exited the kitchen, leaving me alone with the watch. Nicholas was right. I needed to take some time to clear my head and work my way through this problem logically. I scooped up the watch from the counter and returned to my quarters. I laid my head down on my pillow and took some deep, controlled breaths, whilst repeating a mantra in my head to focus my mind. Pocket watch. Pocket watch. Pocket watch.
It's time for the next round of the deletion game. Vampire Children begins now.
Huh? What?
I will be coming to each person's quarters to name you either human or vampire. Until then, no one leaves their quarters. That's right. Mama Di has grounded you all.
How the hell did I fall asleep? Before I tapped down to dwell on my situation, Di appeared in my room, as promised.
Good morning, sleepyhead.
Just 1 second, Di. I was running a bit behind. Ran around like a headless chicken, attempting to pull myself together into something mildly presentable. I berated myself soundlessly for needlessly wasting so much time.
What's wrong? Rough night's sleep, dear?
Can't believe that I overslept this much.
It's only 7 a.m. When were you planning to wake up?
Wasn't planning on going to sleep at all.
Well, you clearly still need the sleep. Someone's a grumpy boy.
Didn't react to the provocation, mostly because I was too busy pulling my uniform on over my head.
Humans require a lot of sleep, don't they? It can only result in a better deletion game if you have all of your wits about you.
I'm glad that you still seem able to make this about you somehow.
On this ship, everything's about me. Look at me. I'm adorable.
Yes, I can't deny to that.
No, thanks.
Now, I believe you're here to tell my fate.
Ah, yes. How could I forget? I'm very pleased to inform you that you are...
Wow. Yes? Just tell me already.
not the vampire.
Oh. Says Nicholas is a vampire. I exhaled with relief.
Doesn't a bit of suspense just liven up your day?
Certainly does something.
Great to hear. Well, I have much better things to do than hang out with the likes of you.
Well, thanks, Di.
Anytime.
Di bobbed a mock courtesy at me as he departed. 10 minutes later, Di's voice blared over the ship's PA system.
Thank you all for your cooperation. You are now free to pass the time as you please. The game will commence in 2 hours. Good luck!
Placed the watch back on the bedside table, focusing my mind on more immediately pressing issue. I was one of the humans along with 5 other crewmates. I needed to figure out who the vampire was as soon as possible, or I would likely lose the game along with my life. Even with the struggles of late, I feel like living was a state that I wanted to maintain. As I strode purposefully out the doorway into the corridor, I ran headlong into Nicholas. Da kommt der Vampir!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Ah, I'm okay. How about you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What brings you here?
I was actually hoping that we could have a word in private.
Sure, what's up?
In private?
Nicholas made a head gesture towards my quarters and locked the door, and he followed me back inside. When Nicholas was sure that my door was fully sealed, he spoke.
I have been named the vampire.
Damn!
I know. I was not expecting this due to the statistically low likelihood of my selection, but it is what it is.
So...
I want you to be my Clyde.
Me?
Yes, it has to be you.
Why not Beatrix?
Beatrix does not know that I am the vampire.
Oh, die wird uns so die wird uns so umbringen. You haven't told her?
If she knew, she would be adamant on being my partner.
So,
There are two inherent problems with that. First, everyone would expect it, and would be suspicious of us as soon as we bred in round 1.
Logisch. And second?
I am divulging this to you in utmost confidence. Please do not tell Beatrix what I am about to tell you. If we were to partner and lose, we would both die. I personally could not live with the responsibility for her death, but it would also leave the ship without a medic, something that I would deem a much bigger problem.
So, you're happy you're possibly killing me by accident?
I am glad you understand.
Nicholas smiled wistfully at
No,
me.
I think you know full well that is not it. Beatrix can be overly emotional, and because of that, she is very easy to read.
Die schlimmste Kombination, die wir ja haben könnten, dass wir schaffen könnten, Beatrix umzubringen. So you need a partner who can play it cool.
Correct. I need someone who is just as charming and witty as I am if I am to have any hope of pulling this off.
Oh, Nicholas. Flattered.
Flattery aside, will you do it? Will you be my Clyde?
Oh. Yes, of course. You had me at... Nicholas, you had me at I want you.
I told you that I could be charming.
Let's hope that flattery isn't a vampire's kryptonite. Nicholas and I laughed heartily. So what do we do about Beatrix then? We obviously want to save her, so in the case that the vampires win, she needs to avoid having the fewest numbers of babies to her name.
Correct. I think I know how we can achieve that.
Oh?
I have had a plan in place for a while now.
I'm all ears.
I will save it till the game starts. We do not want to garner suspicion by being apart from the others for too long.
Sounds good.
I bid you farewell, fellow vampire.
Also to you, sir. Nicholas executed a flawless sweeping bow before taking his leave. As confident as Nicholas knew that what he was doing, as a team we could win this game. My stomach started grumbling. Oh yeah, I haven't eaten today. Oops. Would definitely be smart if I grabbed a bite to eat before the game started. My brain worked well on an empty stomach. As I made my way to leave my quarters, A appeared in my path.
We need to speak.
Oh, jetzt kommt die hier Override. Oh, good morning, I.
I do not have long. Come to the server room.
I supped away, leaving me quite confused. Never heard her sound quite so human. She seemed worried, something I had never seen before and made me deeply concerned. I looked up the location of the server room. As I've never needed to use the room before, it wasn't long before I had a location marked and navigated there. I was already... So, dann schreiben wir uns... Gucken wir uns kurz mal das an. Ah, shit. Hier wirklich kein Stift in der Nähe? Also, Ad Astra, der Aspera. Through hardship to the stars. Dann nehmen wir kurz einfach mal die Notiz-App. Ad Astra, der Aspera.
I must make this quick. Dai is brute forcing road codes and functions.
What does that mean?
She is attempting to take control, but I am doing my best to keep her at bay for now.
What's wrong? What's happening?
Dai discovered that the tablets belonging to the ship's personnel were capable of overriding the main system, and so she has patched that exploit.
Does that mean I can no longer deactivate die?
You can, but it must happen here, directly at the server mainframe.
I still don't know the password.
This is your only chance. I have gained the security clearance required to allow you to override the system.
I told you, I'm not ready.
Once you input the override code, the ship's AI system will reset.
Und dann have der Deactivation Code. Das ist halt jetzt die Frage, was sehen wir, wenn wir so viel noch nicht gemacht haben eigentlich? Es fehlt hier noch alles. Naja.
The deactivation code is 5 words in length.
Wait, what? Dann... Shit, dann kann es nicht der Dings sein. Eye's image flickered wildly as he struggled to keep Dai from regaining control. The screen towards the back of the server room came to life, an ominous cursor flashing on the password prompt screen. Dai disappeared and her voice called to me through the PA system.
You always had it.
The override code. Terminal keyboard is case sensitive. Please use lowercase for all operations. I know it. Ad Astra per shit. Aspera. Enter. Input not recognized. Shit. Screenshot there. So. Wieder
What am I
Fanservice.
doing? You're in my room, you pervert.
Was ist das? Sehen wir das am meisten? This is the server room.
Where do you think I live, moron?
She's right. Essentially what makes Dai, or I for that matter, herself, is the contents of these servers. So sorry, Dai.
Just get out. Sheesh. Can't a girl get a little privacy around here?
I rushed out of the server room as fast as my legs would take me. I'd like to say that I honorably tried to scrub what I had just seen out of my mind, but the after image of Dai was stuck in my head for good. Where was I? My stomach reminded me with an audible gurgle. Could I forget? Headed to the kitchen to premise. Wir haben gerade die einzige Chance, den Deactivation Code einzugeben, verpasst und er so, erstmal essen. Headed to the kitchen to prepare myself something to eat for the next round of the game. I started exploring through the pantry and behind the tins of flour and sugar found 2 containers of what appeared to be chocolate cake and vanilla sponge cake. Nice Frühstück. Jackpot. I was sure Katashi wouldn't mind if I just ate a one piece. Dafür wird uns Cheesecake umbringen. Reach out a hand to take a slice of the... vanilla. I scooped it up and deposited it on a plate, making my way to the dining hall. I knew eating there would just increase my chances of getting caught, but it would be worth for the calming effect provided by a large window framing the infinite depths of space. Not being able to restrain myself, however, I started eating the cake in the hallway, resulting in only a mouthful left when I finally reached the dining hall. What? What? I dropped the plate, sending it shattering to the ground. Oh Gott, der Kuchen ist vergiftet, oder? Ah! Dai appeared beside me, startled.
What have you done?
Scheiße. I ran to the unmoving figure of the captain on the floor. It didn't look like she was breathing. Neither was Shizuka or Katashi. Shook the tiny body of Melody. Melody. It's me, Monkey. Wake up.
I'm scanning their vitals for any signs of life.
Did you do this, Die?
What? No. Did you?
No, of course I didn't. Please tell me that they're alive. Maybe they're just sleeping. Yeah, that's it. Sleeping.
I can't detect any signs of life. They're dead.
Uh-oh.
The captain is dead.
I seem to be taking this even worse than I was, if that were possible. I ran over to Nicholas, who was lying on the ground, head propped up against the dining hall wall. Nicholas, please. We have a game to win.
The captain is dead.
I know. What happened?
The captain is dead.
Uh-oh. I start off into space. She looked as though mesmerized by something far away. Too far for me to see. What do we do? I kept repeating the same phrase.
The captain is dead.
She slowly faded away, leaving me alone in the dining hall with the entire crew lying dead at my feet. The ship's PA system blared out suddenly. Naturally, the ship's course has been altered. Redirecting, accelerating. Warning, route intersecting with black hole. Collision imminent. Warning. What? Sprinted to the bridge, where every screen flashed warning signs and a foreboding sick, deep red. Warning, event horizon of black hole breach in T-1 minute. Warning. Hey, what are you doing? As a voice trembled over the PA system.
The captain is dead.
Doesn't mean you can condemn me as well. Change the course back now, Die.
The captain.
You have died. Sad, isn't it? Oh, das ist ein bisschen laut. So. Jetzt müssen wir also jemanden aus dem gegnerischen Team umbringen. Gehen wir mit.
Is everyone in agreement?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Thank you for your entry. Please.
So.
I hate this game.
At all the
Why, hello, contest. Both teams have now inputted their selection, and so it is my pleasure and my privilege to announce the results of round one. And the winner of round one is...
Hier, es wurde gefixt. Wir haben 3 Wunden gewonnen und sie eine.
It was a close one, but Team B is leading the charge.
Warte, hä?
Let's move on to round two. Team A, you are up again. Please follow me. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Das ist
Thank you for your if you would. And the really tie. The probability of this is
Please die, no more maths. I get enough at home.
Very well, Yoshiki.
Team A, you are up again. Please follow me.
Peter walk from.
Your 5 minutes.
I know. Okay. Here.
Selber sterben habe ich ja auch schon, oder? Ne, habe ich noch nicht. Gib mir erstmal 0 Punkte.
Congratulations, Team B. And that means, and Yoshiki.
Okay. So hat's also nicht geklappt. Ich sollte einfach einen Save da machen. Ja. Ne, falscher Knopf. Save. Ja. 10.10. So gehen wir einfach erste
Is everyone
Option.
in agreement?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you for your.
I hate.
Why, hello,
Hier, jetzt haben wir als erstes gewonnen.
Your tablets will now display your team's individual points. Ah, the suspense is killing me. Let's move on to round 2. Team A, You're 5 minutes.
Okay, we started strong. Let's keep this up. My suggestions are
Nehmen wir mal das hier.
Thank you for your. Ah! Team A, you are my hero! Let's move on to round 3 then.
So.
Team A. You're 5 minutes.
We might be safe.
one more round before we can count our chickens, Yoshiki. Heading into the final battle, I suggest.
Nehmen wir mal das.
Congratulations,
Come on.
Team A! After 3 rounds, you have come out victorious.
So, wer verliert?
And that means, Team B, you lose. Congrats!
So sorry.
Enough of that. Now for the prize winner. Congratulations, Katashi!
Boah. Okay, ich hab halt vorher gedacht, hier würde der Captain sterben. Aber wie wir gesehen haben, wie Dai darauf reagiert, wenn der Captain stirbt, würde das wohl nicht angeboten. Stimmt, Katashi hat eigentlich auch mal gefehlt. Tut mir leid.
All right, well, let's get to it. But first, just let me take the time to really congratulate all of our winners and our losers. Isn't teamwork just the greatest?
His face swelled with grief as he approached Katashi and grabbed hold of one of his shirt sleeves.
Tashi, I'm so sorry. I thought our strategy would work.
Tja. Not today, gamer girl.
It's not your fault, kiddo, so don't sweat it. I approve the numbers. Same as you.
I shouldn't lose. This is a game. Why am I losing?
You didn't lose, kiddo. This was just practice, okay? I know you can win the next round.
Katashi patted Shizuka on the head as she began to weep.
Supposed to lose.
I'm sorry, Kadashi. I tried to ensure we all had points.
I know you did, Captain. But as you said, it was important that we protect Melody. And we did. Besides, it's quite fitting, isn't it? After all, I was the one who triggered the game to start early in the first place.
Shizuka shuffled to the back of the crowd. Although she was doing her best to hide her face, I could hear her quietly crying. Dai meaningfully cleared her throat.
Yes, I agree. Super fitting. Now let's get on with it.
Oh nein, was machen wir mit dem Koch? Machen wir ihn zu Kompost? Dai materialized a wheel in front of her and started it spinning immediately. Her eyes widened as she watched it spin. Tick, tick, tick.
Oh, how fitting, Katashi. You're going to be cooked to death.
Natürlich. Oder das.
Can't come up with anything new, eh, Dai?
Tja, hatten wir schon bei Sora.
Excuse me?
I'm not the first person to die from being cooked.
Schon so.
Kadashi, don't be insensitive.
The captain placed a reassuring hand on the back of Melody's head. Melody was planted firmly at Kimiko's side, grabbing tight to the captain's leg with both arms. Katashi glanced sheepishly at Melody before meeting the captain's gaze. Oh, er hat ja... Oh. Ja. Er hat ja über Sora, Melodys Mutter, geredet.
Sorry about that. I'm about to die, though. So can you forgive me this once, Captain?
Katashi looked at the captain playfully.
Of course.
Captain did her best to force a smile. Oh. Ich weiß nicht, wie gut man sieht, aber sie hat auch wieder Tränen.
I will have you know, Mr. Space Farmer. Not that that is even a real job. I have arranged a way to cook you without needing to resort to what happened last time.
Uh-oh.
Oh?
You know, I spend so much time every week trying to come up with interesting ways for you all to die. And this is the thanks I get? You know I am not phoning this in, right? Why does no one appreciate my creativity?
Ice anger suddenly turned to tears.
I even spend hours designing the deletion game rounds for you all.
Wow. Everyone in the locked room looked at each other, confused.
You don't ever have to play the same game twice, but still, no one thanks me.
Sie hat wohl uns vergessen.
Aw, don't say that, Dai. I'm sure we all appreciate how hard you work for us.
Shut up, Yoshiki.
Really?
Yeah.
Yoshiki!
The captain gave Yoshiki a scathing look, causing Yoshiki to snap out of a momentary lapse in judgment.
Sorry. You know I can't handle it when people cry. Especially girls.
Ich habe erst gelesen, when people die. The captain seemed both angered and baffled by his stupidity.
Excuse me, Captain, but Yoshiki and I were having a beautiful moment.
Dai turned her attention back to Yoshiki.
You know what, Yoshiki?
I will remember your kindness.
When you die.
Huh? Really?
Yeah. When I kill you, I will stay with you and cheer you on until you eventually stop breathing.
Nice.
I will even pretend to mourn for you.
Isn't that sweet?
She let out a nervous laugh.
Yeah, I guess it is. I appreciate it, Dai.
Katashi cleared his throat, reminding everyone of the task at hand.
Oh, how unthoughtful of me. I should be focusing on the man of the hour.
So, how exactly is this going to happen?
Well, first we will...
Wait. Forget it. I don't want to know.
Ah, I hear you. You want to learn through experience.
Kai winked at Katashi.
All right, everyone. Let's all head to the kitchen.
Uh-oh.
The kitchen? Dai, I hate to disappoint you, but I won't fit in the oven.
Shh, you already said you didn't want to know. Now onwards.
Everyone marched solemnly out of the dining hall towards the kitchen, which was close by. It wasn't even a few minutes that passed before we arrived. Uh-oh. Aww, wieder ein Bug. So, now that we need is for everyone to stand outside the kitchen. Whatever you do, don't go inside. Stay out here in the hallway. Although everyone looked puzzled, we nonetheless complied, reminding where we were in the hallway. Now, Katashi, if you would please make your way into the kitchen. Pretty fitting for the space farmer. Am I right, folks? Katashi was entering the kitchen when Shizuka stopped him by tugging on his arm.
I'm sorry.
Shizuka refused to lift her head, tears streaming down her face, eyes riveted to the floor.
Kiddo, I said it's more than okay. Now come on, chin up.
Katashi lifted her head with his hand under her chin to make eye contact.
What is our motto? What happens when we fail?
You die?
Katashi let out a humorless laugh.
Well, in this instance, yes, but I meant in general. What happens when we fail?
Learn, retry, succeed.
Oh, nice.
That's right. We learn, we retry, and we succeed. I'm just leaving the learning to you, kid. So make sure to win, okay?
She got her tears dried up as she fought back for her tears.
I'll do it. I'll win this whole thing.
Nein, jetzt wird sie uns alle umbringen.
That's the spirit.
Katashi patted Shizuka on the head for the last time and then stepped into the kitchen.
Officer Ikari, you have served the Everett well. We thank you for your service. Salute!
We all saluted Katashi as the door to the kitchen was sealed off by Dai. Oh, about time, people. The kitchen has been locked down. Oh. Temperature control system will now perform a complete disinfection cycle. Huh? Disinfection cycle? Oh, how rude of me. Sometimes I forget that you run away with your coward parents and know very little about the ship. Disinfection cycle is an operation that can occur in any part of the ship. It isolates a part of the ship and heats it up, using the temperature control system to kill any live viruses and bacteria. Or would the ship even be able to do that? Why? Why isn't that obvious? Let's imagine for a moment that when we found you drifting through space you were infected with, say, Corona, the bubonic plague. If we didn't have a cure on board, we need to get rid of that real quick to limit the spread of infection to the rest of the crew. So we just quarantine you and your disease and cook you. Just like that, no more disease. Or you, for that matter. Tja. That's so. Back me up, Captain. You know the protocol. Wait, really? If I was sick?
It isn't personal. I need to protect the crew, and if you had an infectious disease that could transfer to the other crew members...
Would just kill me?
Enough! Who cares about you hypothetically dying? Katashi actually is, and all you care about is yourself!
Sie hat schon recht. Wir reden über Yoshiki oder mich. Statt einfach Katashi, der einfach gerade gegrillt wird.
I don't care about what you have to say, just shut up!
The entire room felt quiet. In my peripheral vision, I could see Dai's smile growing. We stood in silence for almost half an hour. Disinfection cycle and kitchen complete. Temperature control has returned to normal. Believe what the automated system means. Ding ding, dinner's ready. The door to the kitchen swung open and there was Katashi. Uh-oh. Wirklich, Spiel? Wirklich? He attempted to lower his body temperature by removing his clothes down to his shorts. It hadn't worked. His slightly charred skin was a crispy brown color. He'd already seen a human cooked once before. It wasn't easy the second time. If I ever saw another it again, I would be too soon. To everyone's surprise, there was an apple in his mouth that had weathered the cooking a bit better than he did. Did it fall off the bench? Or was he trying to have one last treat before he died? Shizuka ran in as soon as the door opened, immediately removing the apple from his mouth, trying to close his eyes, which wouldn't close.
Someone help me! He shouldn't just be left in here!
I wish I could, but, you know, I'm made of light and all. Dai shrugged, a sly smile on her lips. Shizuka attempted to move Katashi, but she was so much smaller than he was. His body didn't even budge.
Move, damn it!
Shizuka became enraged. She was now flailing while tugging on his arm.
Shizuka, perhaps it would be best if you left him to us. We can take care of him.
Ja, wir sollten ihn auch nicht verschwenden. Er ist jetzt gekocht, ne? Und wir haben ein Ressourcenproblem.
What, like you took care of Katashi here? I think we can all agree that you're not taking care of anyone!
Ooh, sassy gamer girl. The captain winced at her words and the concern on her face melted away to reveal the stern captain I've come to know.
Shizuka, return to your quarters at once.
No!
Refusing an order? This is getting interesting.
At that point, Shizuka had a tight grip on Katashi's arm. Captain would have none of it. Growing visibly irritated, she approached Shizuka, standing only inches away from her.
Shizuka, you are to return to your quarters immediately.
So intense.
Hä, haben die für die wieder einen anderen Voice Actor? Shizuka eyes met with the captains and her moment of rebellion passed.
Understood.
Shizuka let go of Katashi's arm and left the kitchen without looking at anyone on their way out.
Aw, and here I was hoping the two of you would fight. You're no fun, Captain.
Ist doch wieder ein anderer Voice Actor. Well, I'm bored now. Well, it's been fun. I'll see you all tomorrow for the next round of the deletion game. Toodles! I zapped out of the kitchen and left the rest of the crew standing silently.
Yoshiki, Nicholas, I trust that you two can move Katashi.
Of course. We'll see to it now.
Thank you. Beatrix, could you please give me some assistance with Melody today?
Yeah.
Thank you. Everyone is dismissed. Feel free to do as you please for the remainder of the day. I will be in my quarters if anyone needs me.
Captain left with Melody in tow and I shortly followed suit. Chapter 3. Also. Katashi vielleicht stirbt er auch noch hier. So viele. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wir können nicht dabei sein. Der Captain bestimmt auch nicht. Ich glaube, ich spiele halt noch immer noch größere Rolle. Friday morning had come. It felt like I had been lying for a lifetime staring at the ceiling. But there was no escaping it. Blood was on my hand this time and it wasn't coming off. Katashi's death was my fault. Couldn't shake the image of Shizuka holding onto Katashi's sleeve. Eyes glassy and full of tears. Hadn't really become friends since I had been here, but everyone is dying. It's all my fault.
Really, Sailor? Got a secret you aren't sharing with me?
What? I was startled, but Beatrix was somehow in my room, standing at the end of my bed. Beatrix, how? When?
Lost for words, I see. I have that effect on men.
Also ist sie unsere Love Interest auf der Route, oder wie? Seriously, how are you in here? Better yet, how did you get in without me noticing?
Oh, that. Yes, well...
Beatrix stood still and just stared at me, face not moving an inch until she suddenly spoke again.
So why is it your fault?
She didn't answer my question.
I asked my question first. It's only fair.
Beatrix replied flippantly, as if it should be common practice. I begrudgingly agreed with her. I'm the reason everyone is dying in the first place. Me arriving triggered die, and I'm the one who spoke with Katashi and forced the game to begin.
Oh, is that all? I thought maybe you had some new information, or perhaps you were a traitor or something.
But an imposter? Beatrix raised her eyebrow in excitement of the idea of a traitor, which quickly stilled when she knew that it was not the case. Is it all? Existence is why people are dead, and others will likely die. I hung my head, fighting the tears I didn't want to shed in front of Beatrix.
Ah, I see. You're having a pity party. Well, Sailor, I do not care to partake in this waste of time.
I was a little taken aback by her callousness. Beatrix turned on her heels as if to leave when she suddenly stopped. Kan jag med datte? Kan jag med datte? Yes, Beatrix.
You have two options. One, stay here and continue to cry over spilt milk. Or two, get out of bed and follow me.
Katashi is not split milk. Beatrix just shrugged at the command nonchalantly and left my room. Cry over spilled milk? Follow her. Guess sitting here isn't helping anything. Okay, wait up, I'm coming. Jumped out of bed, threw on a shirt and headed down the hall after Beatrix. Fan service!
Done crying then?
Well, I think it's a bit harsh to compare Katashi to spilled milk. To understand the overarching point of that comment.
Good. We have work to do.
What work? Beatrix stood dead still in the hallway and placed her hand next to her ear.
Listen.
Stood silently and heard nothing. I don't... Beatrix continued standing, listening. Suddenly my stomach rumbled. Sorry, I'm a bit hungry.
Bingo, sailor. That's what we're listening for.
My stomach?
Anyone's really. And now that our chef is gone and cooked himself up a storm, someone needs to feed the crew.
Beatrix smirked at her own joke. Beatrix, he died less than 24 hours ago.
What? Too soon?
Yes!
Well, too bad. I know he would have laughed.
I stood in amazement of how easily Beatrix was dealing with this all. Quickly stepped out of it as she started again down the hallway towards the kitchen. As we arrived at the kitchen, I could see that she had clearly already spent some time in here before waking me up. How long have you been here?
A few hours, give or take.
Wait, have you ever slept?
A little. Nicholas was insistent that I sleep, and so I did so, just to appease him.
Aren't you tired?
There is work to do, sailor. Beauty sleep is reserved for times of peace.
Oh, really? I thought you were much more vain than that. Beatrix shot a glare at me. Thought I was a dead man. My last words, wasted. Beatrix suddenly lightened up.
Sailor, look at me. I've had a lifetime of beauty sleep. Skipping a few nights won't hurt my gorgeous good looks even in the slightest.
Guess you're right.
You, on the other hand? Sorry I woke you.
Oof. Hey! Beatrix laughed to herself as she stood by the oven, lightly crackling pan in one hand, a spatula in the other.
Be a dear and get that cooling rack, will you?
She pointed with her face as she pulled the pan from the oven top. The sweet smell of pancakes soon filled the room as she moved them from the pan to the rack. I could feel myself salivating. My stomach suddenly grumbled loudly, even more than before. Ah, sorry. Beatrix patted my stomach with her spatula.
Yes, yes, it's coming. Sheesh.
Should I go wake the others?
No, no. We will simply leave all the breakfast here, and when they are ready, they will help themselves.
Why did you wake me up? Beatrix smirked.
Well, if you must know.
Yes?
I was bored.
You wanted my company. Beatrix suddenly became sheepish. Junge.
No, I didn't. I just wanted to annoy someone, and who better than you?
Nimm deinen Bruder. Aha.
Shut up and eat your pancakes.
Looked at the pancakes being thrust into my chest. Thought about arguing, but a second look at them had me change my mind. Yes, ma'am. Beatrix looked pleased as I delved into the pancakes, which were amazing. I didn't know I wanted them until now. Suddenly the room felt extremely tense. Ach, come, and where are mine, Trixie? Suddenly a die appeared before Beatrix and I.
Well, it was a surprise, but...
A surprise? Oh. I love surprises. What is it? Tell me.
Beatrix sighed.
It's not a surprise if I tell you.
But, you were gonna?
But, I'm not going to anymore.
Beatrix mocked Dai openly. Dai's demeanor changed to that of someone who just had their dreams crushed.
If only I hadn't interrupted you, you would have told me.
Well, lesson learned. Now maybe, in the future, you will be more polite.
I stopped and thought for a moment.
Unfortunately, I am not programmed for politeness, so your options are tell me now or I kill you.
Das nur erwartet.
Fine, I'll tell you.
I leaned in intensely towards Beatrix.
Your pancakes
Yes?
Are a lie.
are in hell, waiting for you.
I smiled intensely.
Hell? Oh, silly Trixie.
Ich bin doch nur eine AI, ich habe keine Seele.
Huh?
I understand your sentiment, but if heaven and hell exist as you humans understand it, I would not reside in hell upon my death.
What? Why not?
Well, one, I am not human nor a creation of any god. My parents are humans and, just quietly, they are pretty poor at parenting. Two, I am programmed by humans. So if my directives are evil, then it would be the humans who created me that would face the consequences of your god or gods. And finally, and my favorite one, what I'm doing, as distasteful as it may seem to some, is actually for the greater good. In the human Christian faith, God killed humans many times for the greater good. I think we'd actually get along quite well.
I smiled widely at Beatrix.
You think you're a god?
No, that's just silly. I am, however, in the definitive sense, your god. I am the greater power that controls and determines your life. And as your god, I command you to come to the dining hall for the next round of the Deletion Games rules explanation.
I will tell you what I told my own supposable god. You can get...
I disappeared as if not even acknowledging that Beatrix was talking to her. Placed what was left of my pancakes down on the counter and headed to the dining hall. Beatrix, whose face was still taut with anger. Arrived at the dining hall once again to a sea of faces, each one looking as if they'd handed a death sentence and were simply waiting for the executioner. Shuffled my way through to the back, where I took a seat and prepared myself for the over-the-top showboating that I was likely to bring once again.
Hello, hello! Can I get a hallelujah?
Halle!
Captain swiftly slapped Yoshiki across the back of the head and rolled her eyes as she shook her head in disbelief of his stupidity.
Ouchie!
Aw, Captain! You are such a spoiled sport!
Yet,
I quickly talked over the captain before she could finish.
Get on with it, Jinx! Everyone heard me. We said the same thing. That means, Capitan, you can't talk till someone says your name.
What are you talking about?
It's an old human pastime that if you say the same thing as someone else, the first person of the two who calls Jinx makes the other person unable to talk until someone says their name. And if they do talk before their name is said, we get to punch them.
Why would you even do that?
Because that's the rules. Besides, you weird humans are the ones who made such a game, not me. Isn't that right, Captain?
I side glanced at the captain, who sat silently.
Captain?
The captain stared back intensely at Dai, who was now hovering in front of her face.
Are you just ignoring me? Or are you playing along? Wait, which is it?
I was starting to become irritated because she honestly didn't know.
How could she tell you if she was doing either without breaking her silence?
I
was lost for words as he contemplated what Nicholas was just said.
Very well. Let's move on to this week's explanation of the deletion game. Or should I say, this Sunday's.
What do you mean Sunday? Don't we get like a week between them?
Well, you normally do, but you broke the rules last time, so now I've changed the scheduling.
But that's not fair!
Neither is being 5 foot nothing with a bad haircut, but I don't hear you complaining about that.
Wow. Das war unnötig. Shizuka's face turned scarlet red before she turned her face away from Dai pouting. Her head hung low. Was ist überhaupt ihre Frisur? Hier eine Strähne. Hier auch eine Strähne. Hinten das zusammengebunden.
She's got your number, Shizuka.
Oh. Ich würde dich jetzt bestimmt auch beleidigen, Beatrix.
I wouldn't get too excited there, Trixie. You'd be lucky to be 5 foot nothing. At least you'd lose a few pounds.
Tja.
Projection or not?
Beatrix didn't even finish her sentence before she leapt over the table and threw a fist through Dial's light protection. Dial laughing hysterically as Nicholas grabbed onto Beatrix and was pulling her back down from the table.
Trixie, you are too easy to play with.
Beatrix, calm yourself.
Beatrix shrugged Nicholas' hands off her and mocked him.
Beatrix, calm yourself.
Captain,
Captain looked over at Nicholas and shrugged as if wiping her hands off Beatrix's action.
really?
Ha! Daubing on me didn't work this time, eh, brother? Besides, she just saw what happened and didn't say a word.
Kimiko, please.
Captain smiled playfully as she stood up.
You will address me as Captain.
Beatrix continued to laugh at her brother.
But thank you.
Huh?
OMG, she was playing along.
In the future, Beatrix, when you throw your punches, be sure to land them.
Beatrix rolled her eyes at the captain as Dai was hopping on the spot, smiling giddily.
Explanation, please, Dai.
Captain, I was wrong about you. You can't be fun. Welcome to the next round of the deletion game. Vampire Children.
Interesting name.
Thank you, Shizuka. I made it myself. Now to business. Vampire Children is played over 3 cycles. One person will be chosen at random by no one during each cycle you have. However, you can't mate every time 2 humans mate. Only after each cycle. After 3, if more human bait now. But be careful. I won't. Any questions? Need me to repeat? Excellent.
They suddenly stepped out of the room and the broadcast opened overhead. We could all hear Dai using her best customer voice.
We understand that you have a choice in deletion game carrier and want to thank you all so much for choosing the Die Deletion Game service. We murder for your satisfaction, and we look forward to servicing you again this Sunday.
Woke up to what felt like a torch being shown in my face. Started wincing as light penetrated my eyelids. Ugh, what are you doing?
Doing? I am but standing.
Struggled to open my eyes as the light was so abrasive. Once I had my eyes open, I realized that the light was simply I. She was standing over my bed, with her face close to mine, so close the presence was literally uncomfortable. Ah, not so close this early, okay?
Yes, of course. My apologies.
I closed my eyes and attempted to go back to sleep, hoping the eye was simply there and had no business with me. Maybe she just liked watching me sleep. I hoped it was it. Das ist nicht besser. I was exhausted. I tensed with my eyes closed as I hoped she wouldn't speak. A moment passed. Maybe she was gone? I felt my whole body relax as though preparing to sleep once again.
Excuse me. The captain has requested to see you in the bridge. Are you okay?
I sighed sitting up. So much for the dream of her just watching me sleep. Yes, what time is it?
It is 4:45 a.m. Shall I tell the captain you are on your way?
What could the captain want at this hour?
I believe she has concerns about our location in relation to the black hole and is looking for reaffirmation.
What? I'm not a navigator. She's a Castilla. Flung myself back into the bed and pulled my pillow over my face. I had eye pretending to clear her throat before playing back what the captain must have said.
Bring me them. We are getting awfully close to this black hole, and I am getting somewhat apprehensive. Shizuka is a great navigator, and she has done this many times before. But still. Why are you still standing there? Get me them.
Groaned and threw the pillow off my face, sitting back up on the bed. Could we almost die another day when I had more sleep?
Should I ask her to postpone almost dying?
Sweet swines, no. Asking her that would just result in me dying today.
So shall I tell her you will be there soon?
Yes, please. I will tell. I'll be there in just a moment. Thanks, I bowed and stepped herself out of my room. It fell back into darkness as the illumination disappeared with her. Maybe dying wouldn't be so bad. Man, it's uninterrupted sleep after all. I smiled to myself for a moment before pulling myself out of bed and heading towards the bridge. I arrived at the bridge just in time to catch the captain, who was assuming she was alone, was chewing her fingernails, was staring at the screen. Captain? The captain startled, dropped her hands quickly by her side and became composed.
Thank you so much for coming this morning.
Quick question first.
Of course, but it had better be quick.
Are you a vampire? Do you sleep?
Interesting question. I have never been asked that before. Like my mother before me, I'm a polyphasic sleeper.
Bitte was? What?
Yes, sorry. I sleep multiple times a day for shorter periods. Where you might sleep for 7 or 8 hours at once, I will sleep multiple times a day for 2 hours here, 3 hours there.
Why?
My mother taught me to sleep like this. She would tell me that the captain does not have the luxury to clock off for the entire night. The ship must always have a captain ready at any moment, and a well-rested captain is best, be it at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m.
Whoa, so you sleep like that so you can be ready for anything?
Yes. As the captain, it is my responsibility to take care of this ship and its crew 24 hours a day. And sleeping like this is the most effective way to manage my time and cognitive capabilities.
Isn't it tiring? To always be on a back foot waiting?
I have never known any different, so have very little to compare it to.
So you've never slept for 8 hours?
Oh, yes, of course I have.
Did you prefer that?
Given that I was sedated by Nicholas? No.
What the heck? Why would he sedate you?
I was ill and refusing to not work. He said that he had medicine that would allow me to work better and through my illness. I believed him. Then I woke up almost 10 hours later.
Uh-oh.
Your expression is correct. I was enraged. When I came to, I went to confront him, but Vladimir asked me not to. He explained that everyone was worried and that he only did it to help. So I let it slide, but told him to never do it again.
Can't believe you let him live.
He had the best of intentions. Plus, can I tell you a secret?
Uh-oh. The captain leaned in and smiled, whispering quietly to me.
I was so ill I couldn't have killed him if I tried.
Ah, guck mal, neues Spray. Neues CGI. Cool. Das ist eher so der Gesichtsausdruck, bevor sie uns umbringt. Captain pulled away and laughed.
All right, know the reason why you are here.
Yes, I told me that it has something to do with the black hole.
Yes, that is correct. Just over a week ago, I made the choice to stay on course towards the black hole.
Yes, I remember, and your argument made sense. So what is the problem?
We will be at the closest point to the black hole tomorrow just after 4 a.m. and...
Shizuka will handle it.
Are
you worried that you made the wrong choice?
People are already dying on my watch. I don't want to sentence the entire crew to death at once.
Captain, no one is going to die being this close to the black hole. Shizuka said we should miss the event horizon, which as you know is like the point of no return in a black hole. We won't get stuck. We won't die. The captain did not look convinced. My understanding of black holes means that worst case scenario, while navigating through its gravitational pull, we might experience time dilation, but even then, it shouldn't be observable from us.
Time dilation?
To put it simply, time passes slower for those closer to a black hole than those... dead? Then, oder? Than those further away from it. So a day to us might in fact be a year for others further away, but theoretically we shouldn't even notice. Captain started looking even more concerned. Nothing I was saying was helping her. Maybe I was making it worse. Father always said that people are like parrots. They love their own reflections and their own voices. Maybe this is what he meant? Here goes. Captain, would you rather have a 100% chance of death or a 50% chance? The Captain Warren's demeanor quickly melted away and she turned her glance to me, smirking.
Wise words. I wonder where you got them from. But you are right, and so was I. Not chancing the black hole is a death sentence in itself.
See, all better. No point worrying about what we can't control. We either die from a black hole or a psychotic AI system, both noble deaths. Captain took a moment looking stern before breaking into a laugh.
Noble indeed. Thank you for the laugh and for your counsel.
You're most welcome. Now if you excuse me, I have a bad way awaiting for me. I made my way back to my bed, waiting for me like a loyal friend ready to embrace me. It was good to be back. I'd been asleep long enough. I felt quite well rested. Maybe for the first time on the ship. It was time to get to business. I hopped out of bed, this time with much more spring, and headed towards the lab with two things in mind. One, changing dimensions, and two, finding the deactivation code for Dai. Arrived in the lab. Well, I guess it was Lyle lab now since Vladimir. Alright, let's begin. I appeared before me almost before I had finished saying her name. Must be nice being able to move around that fast.
Yes?
Have you got any new information at all on the deactivation code?
I am afraid not. If I did, I would notify you.
Yeah, of course. My apologies.
Now, if you will excuse me.
I bowed and disappeared from the room almost as quickly as she appeared. Well, that wasn't a positive start. Alright, next problem. This damn watch. Pulled the watch out of the box in the lab and started it intensely again. It still looked exactly the same and made the same stupid buzz noise when I pressed it. This is a definition of insanity.
Good morning, sailor.
I turned around to see that Beatrix had let herself into the lab. Oh, good morning, Beatrix.
Still playing with that watch?
Afraid so. Getting nowhere and just going crazy here.
Maybe you're missing the point.
How can I be missing the point?
What if that watch has nothing to do with anything, but you have become fixated on it and are now missing the real solution? What if your parents' research was a dead end, and now you're just continuing to waste your time?
Could be right. Maybe I'm chasing the wrong idea.
Yep, you could be.
Beatrix answered flippantly, like it was obvious. So, what do you suggest then?
I suggest that we enjoy today. We might be dead tomorrow.
At this rate, we'll all be dead within months.
So, you have months to solve the unsolvable problem.
I was unsure how Beatrix was so relaxed about the possibility of our future deaths, but I found it reassuring somehow. I stood for a moment considering her words. Did I want my last moments on this earth bashing my head on Earth? Buddy. Bashing my head against a wall or enjoying the company of those around me? Okay, Beatrix, let's spend some time together. Right, let's spend what may be our last moments doing something we enjoy. I slipped the pocket watch into my pocket and smiled at Beatrix.
I knew you would see it my way.
What do you have in mind? Beatrix appeared to be thinking. I thought she had come more prepared than this.
Let's go to the farm and feed and pet the animals.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that thing she would want to do. It sounds nice. We headed out towards the farm to feed and pet the animals. Once we arrived, Beatrix quickly made her way to the sheep pen and started petting the sheep. While standing there in the farm watching Beatrix happily pet sheep, it was easy to forget the predicament we were in and soon to face. Yes, Beatrix?
Once this is all over and life returns to normal, let's enjoy every day together. Just like we are now. Like it might be our last. I've spent too much of my life taking each day for granted. Nicholas for granted. I don't want to do that anymore.
What makes you so sure we will ever return to normal?
Pessimistic, eh?
Beatrix threw a glance sideways in my direction. Ups. Blöder Rechtsklick. Wurde nicht am Anfang gesagt, sie tötet so lange, bis wir wieder genug Ressourcen haben, damit die Mission beendet werden kann? I would rather believe that I'm a realist.
That's just a fancy word for someone who's given up.
I haven't given up. I never thought of it like that. So, how shall we enjoy our everyday together once this is done?
I like baking. Let's bake some biscuits together one time.
Look forward to it.
So do I.
Spend the rest of the day with Beatrix just enjoying each other's company. Tomorrow was going to be hard, but I was going to try and be more positive. After all, I hadn't given up. Woke again with the similar feeling I had felt many times before. My stomach felt as if it was trying to escape my body. It was time to go dance with the devil, I suppose. So, ich will kurz mal speichern wieder. I slipped out of bed and stood firmly on my feet, forcing myself to wake up. Huh. Wonder what time it is. Must have woken up before the game is to start.
Good morning.
Dai, why are you here already? Isn't it game time yet? It isn't game time, is it?
Nope. But I, the sleepyhead, wanted to sleep in this morning, so I'm doing her daily tasks.
Wait, really?
No, silly. I is a program. She doesn't need to sleep in.
No, not that. The fact that you are doing her tasks.
That. Kinda?
I cocked her head and smiled quizzically. What does kinda mean?
I am a busy lady, so I'm picking and choosing what tasks to do. For example, I woke the captain up just an hour ago.
Oh, that's nice of you.
I blasted her room with music louder than recommended levels for human ears.
Stood for a moment unsure how to respond.
Yes, it went as well as you can imagine.
Ouch. Okay, well, do you know what time it is?
Do I look like a clock?
Well, no, but
You are on a spaceship for science's sake. You could look almost anywhere for the time.
I...
You what? Enjoy treating the dim-witted eye as a personal clock? It's not cool that you are taking advantage of her and her simpletonness.
didn't mean to, but my wall clock doesn't change.
Luckily for you, I don't like her either. It's 4:13 a.m., you blind numbskull. Game starts at 7 a.m. See you then!
I saluted and stepped out of my room. I got changed and started getting ready when I noticed the pocket watch on my bedside table. I put it there last night when I went to bed. The green lights that would rotate 3 times when I pressed the left side button were now all on. Pocket watch was responding to something. Picked up the watch and looked at it closely. What should I do? Press it. Why wait, this is the first breakthrough I've had since looking into this. After all, maybe I'll make progress before the deletion game. Didn't hesitate to press the right button. It's a long word of loud buzz noise from before, but rather a chime. The watch hands started spinning around, one clockwise, one anti-clockwise. The 2 little panels began spinning through numbers before finally stopping. Both smaller clocks above reached 60. The 2 panels read 17 on the left and 33 on the right. Suddenly I felt sick, like I was going to throw up.
Hey, wake up! Do you want to make us late and kill us all?
I begrudgingly opened my eyes. I felt like I had been hit by a truck. My head was killing me. Huh?
Seriously? You were so lazy.
What? I opened my eyes to see Beatrix and another woman standing over me. Das fand ich halt schon interessant. Das erste Mal gejumpt bin, waren wir in leeren Schiffen und so alles. Und jetzt sind wir auf Schiffen mit anderen Personen. Beatrix?
No, it's Santa.
Does that make me Mrs. Claus?
Oh?
Sure, Bonnie. You're Mrs. Claus.
Dibs on eating all the food left out for you, though.
No. We are a partnership and it's a 50-50 arrangement.
Very well. I do look pretty good in red.
Don't we all?
What is happening? Bonnie, where are you?
Mrs. Claus? Do you not listen?
Where am I?
The Everett? Like you have been since your birth? What is wrong with you?
Maybe he drank too much last night.
Someone tried to understand what was happening here. Wait, you never left the Everett?
Leave? To go where? We were born on this ship, and we will die on this ship.
Oh Gott, sie sieht auch schon aus wie ein Vampir. The deletion game? That never happened?
Are you messing with us?
Just tell me you don't know what a deletion game is.
No can do, sailor. In fact, that is why you have to get up. We're going to be late and Di's going to kill us all if we are.
But I don't know what the game is.
None of us do. How would we? We'll find out shortly, like usual.
We haven't stopped die.
Nope, afraid not. We only have one of the pieces of the deactivation code.
Woher eigentlich? I have a piece. Bonnie and Beatrix looked at each other with more confusion.
You're the one who worked out the deactivation code is made up of 5 words and that one of the clue pieces is per.
Es ist doch das Motto, aber ein Wort fehlt. Ad astra per aspera. Ad astra per aspera. Hier sind wir einfach gestorben durch Sauerstoffmangel. Und hier, weil das Schiff leer war und denen ein Dings gegangen ist. I did?
Yup. Now, can you and your amnesia hurry up, or none of us will live to see die deactivated?
Right, yes, of course.
See you in the dining hall. Let's go, Mrs. Claus.
Oh, Santa.
Beatrix and Bonnie left my room, where I stood stunned with my headache for a moment. The round of the deletion game. It was what is a game. Uh-oh. I made my way to the dining hall, where I saw the crew. Zora was there and some of the crew. But so were some other faces I didn't recognize. 8 of us in total.
Ah, good morning. Lazy and the last to arrive as usual.
Morning, Di. It's nice to see another familiar face.
Strangely positive this morning. And weird acting. Weird is right. He didn't even know who I was when I woke him up. Really? Well, I guess I would want to forget who you are too. Not nice, Di. I thought we were friends.
Bonnie jokingly pouted at Di.
We are. Friends make jokes, promise.
Bonnie looked up at Di and made a laugh heart shape out of her hands.
All right, now on to the main event. Today's deletion game is called...
Make 10.
Guess what number Di is thinking of?
Wait, really?
Why? What's wrong with that?
Huh. I guess I was expecting something a little more inventive. Di seemed shocked at my statement, almost like what I just said was absurd. What are the rules then?
I thought guess what number I'm thinking of was pretty straightforward.
So, there's no witty, no elaborate set of rules, just pick a number. Di seemed visibly irritated.
Congratulations! You have volunteered to go first.
What? No,
Pick a number between 0 to 10. Go!
But Di's demeanor changed to that of a devil, and her voice echoed throughout the ship with irritation.
I said pick!
4! Ihr kennt mich ja. 4!
Bzz, wrong!
What number was it?
I'm not telling you. The others still need to guess. But first, I must see you out.
What do you mean?
Please come this way, good sir, so I can eject you out of the ship.
Wir waren doch nicht der Imposter. What? The game isn't over.
It is for you.
Before I could say another word, I was being firmly escorted to the docking bay, to the airlock with hands holding me on either side. My escorts let me go as they pushed me towards the airlock section. No, die sind gemein.
It has been nice knowing you. Toodles!
Airlock in the docking bay opening. How did this happen? Could I have failed? Still I need to save everyone. I need to save Beatrix. Beatrix, I'm sorry. As the airlock opened, I felt a fierce suction on my body, but only for a moment before everything turned to black. We've died, it's sad, isn't it? So. Arizona. Huh, you're right. A pity party indeed. I woke to hear someone talking quite close to me, but I couldn't see who it was through the blankets. Suddenly I began being poked quite sternly through the blankets, once even jabbed me in the eye. Ow! Put the blankets back to see the Vogel twins both standing over me. Why did you poke me in the eye?
Oh, my apologies. I wasn't aiming for your eye. My intention was simply to wake you and make you uncomfortable.
What? Why?
Beatrix here tells me that you are withdrawing, so I'm here to stop that.
It's for your own good.
Like you care what is good for me. Don't even care what Katashi is dead. Beatrix no longer looked happy. In fact, this was the most emotion I'd seen from her since Katashi's death.
Now, everyone mourns in their own ways.
Why won't you let me?
Yes, I guess this does seem hypocritical, doesn't it?
Does, so leave me alone.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Why not?
Well, there are two reasons, really. First, we know you are working on solving the dye problem, and to lose you right now to grief could cause dire consequences for the crew. And the second reason is...
It already doomed the crew. No reason can possibly help that elevating the problems I have already caused.
We care about you, you stupid dummy. Look past your own nose for once, eh? Katashi is dead and we can't help him, but we can help our friends that are still alive.
Du hast hier Freunde? Beatrix stormed out of my room.
As my sister eloquently put it, the second reason is because we care about you.
Die gute alte Tsundere, Beatrix. Didn't know Beatrix cared about me, or for that matter. Or you for that matter. Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't be. Beatrix has a very strange way of showing she cares about people, and is very hard to read.
Tsundere, yeah. Said some harsh things about Katashi to her.
She's a big girl. She will get over it.
I need to make that up to her.
Getting out of bed would be a good start.
I guess you're right.
Indeed I am. The way Beatrix looks at it, we are not sure how much longer any of us will live. So why waste the precious minutes we may have left sulking on our beds?
Didn't think about it like that.
She just wants to spend time with you, and can't verbalize it.
Nicholas shook his head and smiled with a hint of frustration when talking about his sister. Alright, no more sulking. Aw, I was enjoying the show. I suddenly appeared in her room.
Oh, good morning, Dai.
Good morning, Doctor. Did you enjoy the recent cadaver I sent your way? Would you rather want a little less singed?
No, Dai, I have plenty to work with, thank you.
Oh, that's just a shame, because I'll be sending you another one anyway. But no buts, mister. I'll get your butts to the dining hall for the explanation of the next round of the deletion game.
Very well.
Nicholas put his hand out to me, so I grabbed it and I hopped out of bed. Both walked silently towards the dining hall. I arrived at the dining hall once again to see our faces, each one looking as if they'd handed a death sentence and were simply awaiting the executioner. Got it. Are you a vampire?
What?
You know, a blood-sucking creature of the night.
The new game hasn't started yet.
No, not in a game. I mean in real life.
Why,
The captain looked genuinely confused. I mean, you don't even seem to sleep, and the only thing I can think of is that you are the vampire. You are a vampire.
Do I look like a vampire?
Well, no, not really. You're missing the fangs, I guess. But I've never seen one in real life.
You know vampires aren't real, right? Did your parents not explain to you that vampires are not real?
Well, they never technically say they weren't or weren't. I just guess I just assumed.
You thought that I may legitimately be a vampire?
Well,
And if I was, what was your plan here?
she's right. What if she was a vampire? It would mean she was faster and stronger than I was. It would just be a she walking into the lion's den. I guess, the captain had now raised her left eyebrow, her gaze making me feel that I may in fact still be her prey.
Yes?
Breakfast is served. Smiled jokingly and hoped to signs that she didn't think I was dumb for thinking this.
A delicious breakfast at that.
La la. Couldn't help but blush uncontrollably at that comment.
All right, know the reason why you are here.
Yes, I told me it was something to do with a black hole.
Yes, that is correct. Just
Okay, das kennen wir ja schon. So, wieder Zeit mit ihr.
I knew you would see it my way.
So, weiter geht's. Chapter 4. Don't yet know what would happen if I press the buttons now. For all I know, there's something devastating could occur. I stared at the watch with a stomach-churning mix of respect, fear, reverence, and awe. I slipped it gently back into my pocket, taking extreme care not to brush any buttons with my hand. I let out a huge breath, realizing that I had been holding it this whole time. Blöder Rechtsklick. Perhaps it would be best to get some advice on this matter. I decided to go and consult Beatrix. I wound my way down the hallway, head swimming with thoughts, and found myself staring at the door to the Vogels, quarters with no recollection of how I had arrived here. Shaking my head to try and clear it, I pressed the intercom button. Beatrix, can I speak with you for a moment? No response. Beatrix? So nothing but silence. I stared back down the hallway when I heard the door open behind me. Namatate. Oh, good morning, Nicholas.
It would be, if not for recent events.
Oh, I'm sorry. Nicholas, may I speak with Beatrix? Namatate. Yes.
What am I supposed to think when you, a young man, comes to wake my sister at some ungodly hour of the morning?
Took me a moment to realize what Nicholas had implied. No. It's not at all what you think.
Go on then, I'm listening.
I came to ask Beatrix for advice. My research on the pocket watch has finally had a breakthrough.
And do you think Beatrix could be of assistance at this hour of the morning?
Nicholas chuckled empathetically, as if I was about to walk into the lion's den.
Be my guest. I will give you two some space and go and fix up some breakfast.
Nicholas moved to one side, motioning for me to enter. He gave me one last pitying smile and disappeared down the hall. Sie hat gerade geschlafen und ist nicht gut gelaunt. I stepped into the room and saw the outline of someone wrapped up in blankets on a bed in a corner. Beatrix? She didn't respond. I tiptoed closer and tried to gently rock her. Oh, das wird nicht gut gehen. Nicholas, Beatrix, it's me. Beatrix, I need your advice. Please wake up. Beatrix stirred a little, but she did not rise. Stop poking her. Das ist Game Over. I gently poked her in the face with an outstretched finger. Her gracious moans started forming coherent words.
Go away, Nicholas.
Beatrix, it's me.
Go away, me.
Doubled over and laughed at her hilarious response. Struggled to plead with her between gasps of breath. Please, I need your help. Beatrix sat bolt upright, having finally been sufficiently aroused.
This had better be very important.
Yeah, it is, I promise.
You've got exactly 10 seconds to make your case before I kick the ever-loving crap out of you.
The pocket watch, it's turned on. Nicht nur the pocket watch is turned on. Oh yeah.
What?
It's doing something. The green lights are all lit up. I yanked the watch excitedly from my pocket and held it up for Beatrix to inspect. The watch face bathed Beatrix's own face in green light, glinting off her tired eyes. Intriguing slowly dawned over her features.
Well, does it work now?
I don't know. I haven't pressed anything yet.
Why not?
Would you press it?
In a heartbeat.
But what about Nicholas? What if using it killed him?
If I knew for sure that it would kill Nicholas, I wouldn't touch the thing. But I don't know that. Quite the contrary. It may be the only thing that can save him.
You'd risk that?
Look, you'd have to be blind to see that we're practically dead already. Dai isn't stopping. It's just a matter of time.
Pleaded Painter just to mention the possibility of Nicholas dying.
So, if given an option, no matter how dangerous or unlikely to work, I would take it.
Beatrix was right. Even with this, I couldn't bring myself to push the button. Just yet. I thanked Beatrix and made my way back to my quarters so I could consider her thoughts on the merits of using the watch and its possible implications. She made a lot of sense, but there was still something inside making me hesitate. I tried my best to get a solid grasp of the possibilities and consequences that literally lay in the palm of my hands. Time flew by as I was lost in thoughts, only interrupted by the PA system suddenly springing to life, shocking me out of my contemplative state.
Good morning, my most eager beavers. Today is, of course, the long-awaited round of the deletion game Vampire Children. If you could all please make your way to your individual quarters, I will be selecting my vampire.
I sighed, remembering that I had bigger problems immediately at hand.
Hello?
I was standing before me as I glanced up, looking far too happy for me to feel entirely comfortable.
Oh, why the long face?
I mean, besides the game?
The game? I'll have you know that it's your lucky day, sir.
Oh, and how exactly is that?
You are not the vampire. I repeat, not the vampire.
Why is that a good thing?
I have run a simulation of the game many times, and you are way more likely to win if you aren't the vampire.
Sie hat nicht Unrecht. So isn't that unfair?
I didn't say by how much. Besides, this game is about convincing others to breed with you. So it's much more reliant on the interaction of the people playing than the actual mechanics themselves.
Yeah, for me then?
That's the spirit. Now, when the time comes, go out there and make Granny Di some beautiful grandbabies.
I vanished from my room, and shortly after was unscanned blaring out of the PA system.
Thank you all for your cooperation. You are now free to pass the time as you please. The game will commence in 2 hours. Good luck!
Sat on the edge of my bed, filled with dread about the upcoming game. Who's the vampire? Who should I try to read with first? How will I know if they're telling me the truth? This was all too much on top of my current conundrum. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Oh, Beatrix the vampire. Hello?
It's me. May I come in?
Of course. I gave my verbal permission, the door slid open and the flustered face of Beatrix peered in, followed shortly by the rest of her. Beatrix, are you okay?
Yes. Well, no.
Why don't you take a seat and let me know what's going on? She looked at me for a second before slowly inclining her head. Before taking a seat on the end of my bed, she looked visibly shaken. Alright, take it from the top.
I'm the vampire.
Damn, really?
Di just told me.
Wait, so why are you telling me?
I want you to be my Clyde.
Me? What about Nicholas?
I have a plan. I just need your help.
Why don't you explain the plan to me first?
Okay. So in the first round, I bite you and you will willingly become a vampire.
Uh-huh.
And Nicholas breeds with another crew person, making a baby.
Views so far.
Then, in round 2, we each bite any person except Nicholas, creating new vampire children. Meanwhile, Nicholas gains another baby.
Alright.
Then, in the third round, we can bite Nicholas and those who are left, ensuring we have more vampire children than baby.
Then baby? Gotcha.
We win, and simultaneously, Nicholas has more babies than the others and will be spared.
The first person we bite will be the ones who might die.
Correct. After we bite them, they will no longer produce babies and will be stuck in that form from the first round.
So we instantly get to choose who die?
Correct.
Uh-oh. Didn't know if I want to make that decision.
If you don't help me, I'm dead.
Silence ruled the room as I could feel the tension growing.
Is there no one you're willing to sacrifice to save me?
Peter.
I came to you because I want to save you. I could have asked my brother to be my Clyde, but I wanted to be sure to save both of you.
Oh, sie is good.
And this is the only way I can think of doing it. I want to save both of you, and so I will. What do you say? Join me?
Of course I'll be your client. Let's do this.
Fantastic.
So, what do we do from here?
We don't have to do much, just make sure to breed with me in the first round and things should go smoothly from there.
Should we organize more now?
I would love to, but the longer I spend with you, the more the others might become suspicious. We need to hide the fact that we are the vampires.
You're right, okay. Let's strategize further when we're breeding. Beatrix winked as she turned and left. I picked my side. I hoped that I had made a choice that could get Beatrix, Nicholas and I through this in one piece. Not long after Beatrix had left, I appeared.
We need to speak. I do not have long.
Ach, das schon wieder.
Di discovered that this is your only chance. I have gained. Once you the deactivation. You always had it.
No idea.
Where do you... Just get out.
I felt like a bath to relax my frayed nerves, plus I really needed to clean myself up before the game started. Oh. What the hell had happened here? Shizuka, Yoshiki, I need you. Nothing. Die? Di stepped into the room. It seemed that a way to put a shocked look on even her face. What the fuck?
Wow, you couldn't wait for the game, huh? Would you just look at this mess? You're one bloodthirsty animal. I'm so proud.
It wasn't me. I ran over to Shizuka. She'd been bleeding heavily from her torso. Bleeding had since stopped, along with her heart. I made my way to Yoshiki, pulling him from the bath. It was too late. He was already dead.
I'm not a doctor, but they are like really dead.
Ace traced the blood trail through the bars towards the back of the room. An arm lay at its source sticking out from around the corner.
I wouldn't go back there if I was you.
Why not?
I'm registering a life form.
Oh? Someone's still alive? Before Dai could respond, I sprinted over, praying that at least someone had survived. A murder? My mind raced as I approached turning a corner.
I think you might have misunderstood.
Oh. Dai stood beside me as I looked up and came face to face with the captain. Barely had time to register the glint of steel. I looked down and saw the hilt of a knife protruding awkwardly from my stomach. At my feet was the motionless body of what looked like the captain? Wait, didn't she? I looked back up and saw the hand of the captain still in front of me, having just embedded a knife into me. Captain?
Why are there two captains? And why are you stabbing him?
Dai seemed just as confused as I did. Uh-oh. The captain didn't answer, but yanked the knife from my stomach instead. Fell to my knees, crippling pain radiating out from my stomach, sending my whole body into shock. I clutched desperately at the wound. Everything's going to be okay. Dai staring quizzically at the captain, ignoring the fact that I was bleeding out on the floor. Just need to step up this Dai, please. Help me. Tried to hold myself up by leaning on the adjacent wall, but my strength failed me as I slid slowly down, leaving a grotesque smear of blood as I sank.
You killed Kimiko?
Yes.
But you are Kimiko.
Yes.
My primary directive is that Kimiko never be slain.
Yes.
But you...
Yes.
And she is...
Yes.
I failed.
That is correct.
The face was overcome with an immense sadness. Even as I quietly bled out on the floor, I felt sorry for her. Dai turned to me, her eyes looking onto me, mine.
Your injuries are fatal. You will die shortly after losing consciousness in a moment or two.
Not the worst news I've been given today. Dai smiled sincerely, perhaps for the first time.
I'm sorry you died. That everyone died. For no reason.
It was the last thing I ever heard. Okay. So, ich habe jetzt einen... So. Dann bringen wir hier jetzt mal Logiship, Person Nummer 3 um. So. Mit 9 und 8 sind Shizuka und Vladimir gestorben. Ich nehme... Nummer 4 bringt uns selber um, oder 3? Also nehmen wir mal Nummer 1. Gucken, was passiert. Thank you for selection.
Please exit the room and await this round's results.
The room I watched as one after another, everyone else went in to shoot their missiles.
In an unexpected turn of events, it would appear that everyone has chosen to attack in the first 15 minutes, which brings this round to an end. Who'd have thought that you were all so eager to kill each other? Well, who am I to argue? Give the people what they want, right? Let's get straight to the results.
Also Yoshiki auch. Oh shit.
Yoshiki.
Yoshiki looked at the captain helplessly.
Captain, I don't want to die.
So Kimiko's face suddenly became desperate.
Please, Dai, don't do this. Yoshiki is necessary to the mission. He's our only engineer.
Well, apparently the rest of the crew feel a little differently, Capitan.
What if I can trade places with him?
No, Captain, it's fine.
No, it's not!
I'm afraid the results are final.
Please, die, not Yoshiki.
You know the rules, Capitan. Either you cooperate or I kill everyone.
Yoshiki put his face on the captain's arm, but she shrugged it off.
Fine. Kill us all!
Tears were streaming down the captain's face. Her current state stood in complete contrast to her usual unflappable demeanor.
Captain, you know that's not right.
Captain wasn't listening.
Well, have at it, Die! Kill us! Show us what you can do!
Uh-oh. A malicious smile spread across Dai's features. She was clearly enjoying watching Captain lose her cool.
Captain. Captain! Kimmy!
Captain stopped and looked directly at Yoshiki, anger and fear evident on her face.
Kimmy, it's okay.
No, it's not, Yoshiki! It's not!
You can't sacrifice the crew for me.
But I promised I would protect you.
It's okay. Really.
I failed you.
Kimmy, you haven't failed me.
Enough. It's time to decide how you're going to die.
Dai projected the segment wheel and gave it a spin. The arrow swept over the various options, finally coming to rest on...
Drowning it is! Congratulations, Yoshiki. Supposedly, this is one of the nicest ways to die. That being said, I haven't died, so take anything I say with a huge grain of salt.
Please die.
Please die. Ja, das würde ich jetzt machen. Captain was still attempting to bargain with Dai, to no avail.
Alright, kiddies, let's all head to the gym for Yoshiki's final hurrah!
Dai marched down the hallway towards the gym and we all followed. Yoshiki walked beside the captain, who was having trouble regaining her composure.
Kimmy, please. It's okay. You'll fix this. I know you will.
I'm so sorry, Yoshiki. I'm so sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just fix this. Okay? Now, if you'll excuse me, I believe I have a date with a pool. Now's my chance to show off my beach body.
The captain let out a small giggle in spite of herself.
This is hardly the time for jokes, Yoshiki.
That's where you're wrong. Times like these are the reason we tell jokes in the first place, to help us through tough times. Okay. I need you to do something for me now, okay?
Anything, Yoshiki.
I need you to be the captain now, okay? I need the older sister I grew up with. I need you to be strong for me here.
Captain wiped tears from her cheek and straightened up.
Thank you.
Yoshiki offered the captain a warm smile, who was now attempting to hide her grief. Finally arrived at the gym. Dai had re-materialized next to the pool, forcing us to come to her. She seemed particularly pleased with herself as she watched us file in.
Last call for Yoshiki. Please enter the pool.
Yoshiki made his way over to the pool and jumped in next to where Dai was standing.
Ugh, watch it. You'll ruin my hair.
Take care of Kimiko for me, okay?
Of course.
She likes it best when you annoy her.
No, I don't.
Alrighty, watch your head, Yoshiki.
So, das ist schon das zweite Mal, dass er durch Drowning heute sterben wird. Wenn er im Buffs auch verstorben ist. Pool glass cover now in operation. Please stand clear. A pane of glass emerged from the edge of the pool and covered the entire pool surface. Filling pool, please stand clear. Suddenly, additional water began pumping into the pool, raising the water level. Slowly but surely, Yoshiki was buoyed up towards the pane of glass by the rising water. As a last-ditch effort, he tried floating on his back in order to breathe what little oxygen there was left. Wow, jetzt hängt wirklich sein Beachbody. Eventually, however, he was completely submerged under the water beneath the sheet of glass. Panic began to set in, and he started banging on the glass. The entire room was silent but for his bangs. It wasn't long before the room fell silent.
It's done, Dai. Now let me retrieve him.
I don't think so, Captain. He'll remain where he is for the next hour, just to be sure. After that, you'll be free to do as you wish. You humans are far too resistant to drowning, in my opinion. That's a wrap for this week, guys. Great work today. You all fought hard. I'm so proud. The next round will start shortly, so go and get some much-needed rest. Dismissed!
As soon as I released everyone from the gym, the room emptied very quickly. No one wanted to stay there longer than they had to. Only the captain and I remained behind, standing beside the pool. Captain, I'm sorry.
Me too.
Is there anything I can do?
Leave me, please.
I wanted to say more, but I could see that the captain needed some space. Just as I was about to exit the gym, I heard her speak.
I'm sorry, Yoshiki. I'm so sorry.
She crawled onto the glass of the pool and was currently lying above where Yoshiki's body floated, lifeless. Damn.
You always were much more tolerable when you were sleeping.
Wow. She visibly winced at her own morbid joke.
I guess I need to work on my material for your sake, Yoshiki.
Oh, wasn't so schnell. She giggled to herself awkwardly in between bout of tears. Finally left the gym and headed back to my quarters. Even after I crawled into bed and closed my eyes, I swore that I could still see the captain's anguished cries. Chapter 2. Ich würde sagen, wir machen noch, bis wir hier einen Tod haben. Gucken, wie lange es dauert. 2 Stunden Stream haben wir jetzt. So, weiter. I slowly opened my eyes as the sound of crying filled my ears. I slowly sat up, looking around my room for where the sound was coming from. But my room was empty and I was alone. I closed my eyes and continued to hear the cries. When I realized the sound was the captain sobbing last night, playing in my head. Kimiko. I lay looking at the ceiling for a few minutes before checking the time. 6 a.m., huh? I didn't want to think about anything. This whole situation was just so much to deal with at the moment. I wanted to stay in bed, snuggle deeper into the sheets until nothing could hurt me anymore. But all I could hear were the captain's cries. Get up and see the captain. Unable to get the captain's cries out of my head, I thought I'd best if I went and checked up on her. Wasn't sure just yet on the relationships between all the crew, but the captain appeared to usually keep a distance from everyone. That must have been very lonely. I hopped out of bed and headed towards the captain's quarters. I arrived at the door to her quarters to find Vladimir standing outside. Vladimir?
Oh, good morning. Well, as good as morning can be, I guess.
Vladimir forced a smile that looked both embarrassed and confused. Let's just agree that it's indeed a morning. I smiled at Vladimir to try and ease the tension. Vladimir let out a quiet chuckle.
That I will surely agree to. So, what are you doing here?
Actually coming to check on the captain. You?
I am here because of Melody.
Melody?
After last night, Melody was upset because the captain was so upset. So she sat up last night and made her a card to try and cheer her up.
That's so sweet. Vladimir smiled, but his eyes glassed over as he did.
She said she knew how much it makes you sad when someone in your family goes away, and wanted to tell the captain that everything will be okay.
Melody is mature for her age.
It's unfortunate that she's being forced to deal with these issues and lose her childhood.
It really is. I'm sorry. Vladimir let out a sigh as the captain quarters opened and Melody appeared.
How'd it go, sweetie? What happened?
I went in and tried to get the captain the card, but she wouldn't come out from underneath her blankets. But I could see her. I could see the lumps underneath the blankets. So I climbed onto her bed and I hugged the lumps. And I told her everything was gonna be okay.
Aww.
And what happened?
The blanket started crying.
Did she come out?
No, she didn't. I just hugged the lump for a while and it cried. And then I put her card on the bedside table and left.
Good work, sweetie.
Do you think it made her feel better?
I'm sure that it will when she looks at it.
Okay, well, let's leave the captain to rest. Howard, go and help Katashi with breakfast. Melody's face lit up as if Christmas had come early.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
Do you think he'll let me stir something?
Vladimir nervously laughed as if aware of his daughter's cooking abilities.
I'm sure you can ask him nicely.
Melody had already started skipping off down the hallway and towards the kitchen before Vladimir had finished his sentence. Vladimir turned to me and put his hand on my shoulder, just as he was turning away to follow his daughter.
The captain is a proud woman who struggles to ask for help. She has been ever since she was a child. Please, do your best to be a person she can turn to.
Vladimir cut me off before I could respond.
She has no one really that she can turn to on this ship. She has always tried to maintain distance, and the only one who ever got through that wall was Yoshiki. She needs someone, and you're the only one that can.
The Neuling. Eh? I looked into Vladimir's stern but pleading eyes. I understand, and I will do my best.
There's a good lad.
Vladimir firmly patted my shoulder before disappearing down the hallway. I now stood alone in front of the captain's quarters and took a deep breath. Okay, let's do this. I went to press the door intercom to ask for entry. The door itself opened. The captain must have set it to open. I stepped inside slowly. As I entered, I could see exactly what Melody has described. A lump underneath the blankets on the captain's bed, and a handmade card on the bedside table. Sehr schön. Sehr schön. The lump moved slightly as I made my way into the room. Through the blankets, a muffled and broken voice emerged.
Who's there and what do you want?
I stopped in my track and swallowed as I replied. Captain, it's me.
What do you want?
Wow. Das klingt sehr schlecht. Das klingt... Hilfe nicht annehmen. Ich glaube, über Yoshiki reden könnte ihr vielleicht helfen. The lump remained under her blankets, not responding. There was some quiet sniffling. No way he was special to you. He was so kind and generous. There was a quiet squeak, followed by a lump shaking under a new torrent of sobs. Oh, das war doch nicht besser. I admired how he saw the world. He couldn't imagine why anyone would feel the need to be unkind. Oh. The lump shuddered and the sob got louder. Now you feel like you're responsible, but this isn't something anyone should be expected to handle. This isn't your fault.
I failed.
I just managed to understand the muffled voice under the blankets. It wasn't irresponsible. It's Dai who did this. Not you. The captain didn't respond, but I couldn't hear crying, just a few more sniffles. You're not alone. Did you look at the card Melody left?
No.
But don't I read it to you? She didn't object, so I reached over to pick it up. Melody had drawn a big orange happy face and a border of little blue love hearts. There's a happy smiley face on the front. Do you want to read it in private? Or should I?
Read it.
Her voice was a tiny squeak. I opened the card. Melody's handwriting was not neat, but her spelling was pretty good. She spelled most of the words correctly. It says, "Dear Captain, I'm very sorry that Yoshiki is gone like my mommy. Hope you feel better. I drew the Echo Lounge for you." I looked at a drawing of the Echo Lounge. Not bad. All the plans were identifiable. It's a cute picture. She put a lot of effort into the trees. The blankets moved and the captain came out from under them. Her unusual neat hair was all over the place, and her eyes were raw from crying, but the sobbing seemed to have stopped, at least for the time being.
Show me the picture.
Oh, sie ist nicht gut gealtert. I handed her the card, and she looked at the drawing inside, and then at the front.
She just lost her mother, and she's still got the energy to draw plants this carefully.
Vladimir says she stayed up late to make it.
I can't even imagine how he's keeping it together.
The captain's usual stern voice returned along with her demeanor.
I can't cry all day. Who'll run the ship and crew?
I could give it a try. Joke earned me a weak smile from the captain.
You? Do you honestly think you have what it takes to pull off a mutiny?
I won't know unless I try. I smiled playfully at the captain.
Thank you for coming here. I appreciate it.
She was putting on a brave face. Of course she wasn't okay. She was devastated. Maybe getting on with the job and focusing on the remaining crew would help her to get through it.
Yahoo! Everyone's favorite AI system is here. My, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? It would be such a shame if someone were to mention the deletion game. Ahem.
Could I please have all crew report to the dining hall for briefing immediately? That is all.
Dice's maniac voice hauled through the speaker system at brain-melting volume.
All right. Apparently I have to get dressed. I'm going to have to order you out of here.
I left the room, figuring that since I was already dressed, I'd better make my way to the dining hall as quickly as possible. It would be best not to risk aggravating Di. I was the first to arrive. The twins came in right after me.
It's not enough we have to play her stupid games. She's gotta wake us up early too? Bloody sadist.
Nicholas let out a cheeky grin.
Beatrix is not a morning person.
I kinda want to go back to sleep. Just pretend I'm dreaming.
Yes, I know what you mean.
When Vladimir and Melody arrived, only the captain was left. And Di.
Did you have any luck?
Didn't have time to answer before Di appeared.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to see you all here promptly and ready to play. Wait, where's Captain Crybaby?
Fortunately, there were a few seconds before the captain did arrive, and she probably missed Di's cruel jibe.
Nice of you to join us. Late. What happened? You have to get the red eye flight? Get it? Red eye? Crying? Red eye? Why do I even bother bringing my A material for you people? Such a waste. Well, I guess that's not completely fair. I mean, Yoshiki always laughed at my jokes. Where is Yoshiki? Oh, right.
Di shot a side smile at the captain, who was struggling to hold it together before continuing. The tension in the room was incredibly thick.
All right, I can't hold in the excitement any longer. Welcome to round 4 of the deletion game, Bidding Wars. I have noticed a certain lack of, what's the word? Teamwork. So I have specifically designed this game to help us grow as a crew, but more importantly, as a family. We have to work as a team and trust one another if we are to get through this together.
Cut the crap, Di. One of us will die. Teamwork is not on the cards.
Well, it is now, 'cause I said so. If you would all please turn your attention to your tablet devices, I have made you a short video on the rules. So the game will be played, and the bidding wars end on Sunday, a week from now. This is pretty exciting, right? Now, would you like me to explain the rules again myself, or just skip straight to the fun? Wonderful. Everyone's up to speed.
So, Team A will be made of Kaname Date, Shizuka, Vladimir, and Kimiko. Team A will be Katashi, Nicholas, Melody, and Beatrix.
What?
Dai pointedly ignored the objection. Remember, no talking with the enemy from now on, or else... Team B, would you please exit the dining room and make your way to the rec room? We are shortly to allocate your team captain, but A does come first in the alphabet, so Team A goes first. Nicholas and Beatrix got up and left, but Katashi was having a little pink-haired problem on his hands.
I want to stay with Papa!
Dai says we have to go outside.
Papa!
Please, Melody. Come outside with me and I'll explain this game to you.
No talking to the other team now.
Vladimir was sitting stony-faced, his eyes closed. Could see the way his eyes screwed up, concentrating on not speaking to his daughter, wincing every time she said his name.
Nicholas is on our team. You like Nicholas, don't you?
Melody quickly forgot the situation.
One time, he let me put his Band-Aid on.
Katashi's face looked a bit surprised, but he worked with it.
Well, let's go out and talk to him. Maybe he has more Band-Aids.
But Papa needs me!
Why don't we get him a Band-Aid too for later? You won't mind if we go out just for a while, okay?
Melody looked back at her father, very unsure about this, but Vladimir wasn't looking at her. Maybe that helped her to believe Katashi.
Okay.
Good girl. Come on.
Melody held onto Katashi's hand and he led her out.
Yuck. I thought they'd never leave.
I can't go a week without talking to my daughter. She just lost her mother.
Dai shrugged.
Hey, rules are rules.
You make the rules, and this isn't fair!
Hey, I designed the game to be challenging. Not talking to the kid is a compulsory side quest.
This is a new low, Dai.
Oh, sister, you have no idea how I can get.
Hat ein Wort gefehlt. Dai winked at the captain, who visibly rolled her eyes at Dai.
Now it's time to allocate the team, order, and choose a captain.
I can be captain!
I said it would be random.
Pay attention, Bossy Bessie.
I've preloaded 4 cards on your tablets. You can choose one whenever you're ready. The person who chooses the card with the bunny on it will be the team captain.
Oops. How do you know it's random? You could make the cards whatever you want. Already preloaded my card on all of the tablets. Once a card has been selected by someone, it cannot be selected by others. Once all cards have been assigned, it will reveal their face.
But who picks first?
What do I care? Just pick.
Shizuka carefully studied the 4 cards simulated on her tablet screen.
They're numbered 1 to 4 here, and the bunny is under one of them randomly.
Dai rolled her eyes.
It's not calculus. Just pick one.
I take 3.
Next.
I go last.
I'll take 2. Vladimir?
Vladimir had been sitting back, glaring at Dai, but not shouting anymore. Guess he knew Dai wouldn't change anything. He was being cruel on purpose.
1.
Which leaves with card number 4.
4.
This game is such a thrill already. Lucky number 4. Congrats, Captain. Now it's Team B's turn. Any last questions?
But points values have to go in a particular order. Like Shizuka always has the most and I always have the least.
Oh no, that would be boring. You can allocate them any way you want, as long as there are at least 2 people with points.
So that means the team captain can screw me over and leave me with no points.
Oh wow.
That's not my problem.
Don't worry, I won't do that.
Agreed. It's in everyone's best interest to play fairly.
Shizuka still had something to offer out, but she nodded like she believed us.
Well, this has been an absolute thrill ride, but Team B awaits. Remember, no talking to the other team. under any circumstances. No excuses, no exchanges, no refunds. No correspondence will be entered to.
Wir wissen ja, dass sich hier auch alle daran halten, ne?
Toodles!
Di disappeared and Vladimir immediately got up his feet.
This is outrageous. She can't do this.
She's murdering the crew one by one.
Where will Melody sleep? Who will feed her? What if she has nightmares?
You can trust Katashi. And Nicholas, for that matter.
She can't negotiate. I could just give her no points.
Katashi wouldn't let that happen. And the twins aren't monsters.
Vladimir did not seem convinced. He kicked the wall.
We need to talk strategy. Here's what I'm thinking. If we use high numbers each round, say 7s, 8s, and 9s, that will probably put us ahead of them as a team.
Okay.
However, there's 4 of us and only 3 rounds, so if that plan does fail, one of us won't have had that high number, and that would make them the one to die guaranteed.
Fine. I'll do that.
Captain, you just can't.
This is deliberately cruel.
They're going to be trying to predict our behavior, and Katashi knows I'll be strategizing, in which case, maybe we should not go with my first instinct. But their first move might be to counteract what they think ours will be, so we could focus on beating that.
Kimiko was just staring at the table. She didn't seem to be taking in what Shizuka was saying. Neither was Vladimir.
What if she hurts herself? Or gets sick?
There are 2 medics on her team. They'll take care of her.
She needs her father.
So, if they predict we'll be playing one high number, they'll counter with one high number.
Es fühlt sich an wie Gruppenarbeiten. Einer, der versucht, Ordnung zu bringen. Einer, und die anderen 2 nichts machen wollen. Und Shizuka versucht es alleine. The room was a mess. We may have all been on the same team, but I don't think anyone was on the same page right now. Hang on. Calm down. Go slower. Captain, what do you think?
In which case, we can play mid-range numbers and beat the low numbers or zeros they give for the other 3 players.
Huh?
She can't just take a child away and expect.
All 3 battles will be played one after the other, and there will be very little time in between to strategize.
It's sadistic.
Captain, are you okay?
But if we go in with the first round plan, we can also have some options for the second based on likely contingencies.
Sorry, what?
She's 6.
Ich dachte, sie ist 5.
The third battle might be harder.
Our team was divided. I need to get this under control. Wait. Stop. Aaron, just talking for a minute. Aaron, just stop talking for a minute, please.
But
Hold on. Okay, here's what I think we should do. Captain, I think you should go to bed and get some sleep. She was clearly still struggling from the previous day's game, and I didn't blame her.
Yes, I don't feel great.
Shizuka, we have a week, so I think you should put together 3 strategies and then present them to everyone later in the week. We can vote on them.
yeah, that's a good idea. I need time to figure everything out.
Vladimir, you and I should go to your quarters. We'll gather together some things that Melody might want and put them somewhere in plain sight, with the door unlocked.
Thank you. That would help a lot.
You should mention it to I too. I don't think Dai would like us passing messages, but if you just tell I as a point of interest, it's not your fault what she does with that information.
Good thinking.
Thank you. I'm going to lie down for a while.
I'll get to work right away.
Kimiko and Shizuka both left for their own quarters. I accompanied Vladimir to his. Tuesday morning, I was worried about breakfast. What would happen if people from each team met in the dining hall? We'll have to be very careful not to speak to or even communicate with one another. They hadn't specified exactly what would count as communication. It was probably best to assume she'd be really strict about it. But what would my team eat? Katashi couldn't speak to us, even about meals. I went along to the dining hall anyway to see who was there. found Kimiko and Vladimir sitting at the table, talking to Ai.
Hi.
Oops. Good morning.
Hello. Sit down. Shizuka's making us breakfast.
So, how long do we have until we get close?
We are close now, Captain. Please specify.
Close enough that it's dangerous.
Wie das schwarze Loch?
It will most likely be Sunday.
Are you talking about the black hole?
Yes. You look well. Did you sleep better?
I did. Seem alright too. You know how Melody is? Did they find the things we left?
They disappeared last night. Ai says that Melody slept in Katashi's quarters and had fun.
Well, that's good news, I suppose.
So you're saying we're likely to hit the most dangerous point right when Dai will drag us back into playing this new game?
Yes, that is correct.
I'm not even surprised. Thank you, Ai.
Shizuka arrived. She was carrying a cake.
Sorry, I'm not good at food, and I didn't know what else to do.
She put the cake down, and I saw it had been sliced into 4 large pieces. Shizuka served us 1 piece each and then reached into her pockets. She had 4 apples and passed them around.
Apples! Because you know, they're good for you. And come with the added benefit of being ready to serve off the tree.
Melody had better be eating better than this.
Wow, that's not rude. She's on the team with the cook. The captain picked up a fork, looking at her giant slice of cake. The slices were so large it was difficult to decide where to begin with them. She put her fork back down and picked up the apple.
Thank you for volunteering to arrange breakfast, Shizuka.
Shizuka sat down.
I did the best I could. Sorry it's not up to Katashi's standards.
Cake wasn't a breakfast food I was familiar with, but it sure was a delicious one. Didn't cook, so I've got no complaints. Thanks, Shizuka. Shizuka beamed with pride and started digging into her cake. After breakfast and a shower, I went back to my quarters. Getting properly dressed meant picking up the pocket watch and again looking at it. It was so old, or at the very least old-fashioned. It didn't move and it didn't seem to work, but I liked to keep it with me anyway. I needed to work out what it was for. I could really allow interdimensional travel. The possibilities were endless. I decided to show it to one of my team. The captain might know what my parents was researching. My mother was the previous captain after all. Vladimir actually knew my parents, and he was a scientist. Then again, he was also very distracted. Shizuka would good at games and puzzles, and the watch was a kind of puzzle. Made she able to figure out how it worked? Alles interessante Sachen. Ich will mal wieder mehr Zeit mit Shizuka. Looked at my tablet to see where Shizuka was. It showed her in the kitchen. Hoped she had more success impressing the team with her cooking. After all, she had volunteered her time and effort, and that deserved some credit. Arriving at the kitchen, I discovered a disaster in progress. Shizuka's face was covered in flour, along with most of the kitchen. Her hands were stained 2 different shades of brown, and all sticky from whatever she'd spilled on them. There were glistening sticky patches on the surfaces and floor too. Hi Shizuka, what are you making?
I'm not sure yet. In games, I usually just mix ingredients until it works. Then you learn the recipe and it's just automatic after.
Ach ja, gamer. Guts is not like that in real life.
I've watched Katashi like 1,000,000 times before. I can do this.
Said that we might end up with raw flour and sticky sauce for dinner. I offered my help. You need any help?
No. You'll just mess up my system.
There's a system? Shizuka stopped stirring her mixture to look at me.
Of course there's a system.
Okay, listen. Can you wash your hands? There's something I want you to look at. I wanted to show her the pocket watch, but not with her hands like they were. Shizuka washed her hands in the sink, then held out a clean hand, palm up.
All clean. Gimme.
I got the watch out and gave it to her. upon this with my parents' research. Definitely had something to do with further work, but I'm not sure how.
So it's got something to do with physics? Doesn't look like it.
If this was a video game, would this item be important? Shizuka examined the watch very closely. She looked at her face and tapped on it a few times, frowning.
If this was a video game, I think this would definitely be an important item. Maybe even a main quest item. But you received it early in the game, and you might not know what it is or how it works until you get more information.
Well, that's not overly helpful.
No, but it means this watch is important. You just need to keep playing to find out why. You need to finish all the prior quests.
What quests? Shizuka blushed and turned away from me.
I don't know. This isn't my game. It's yours.
Shizuka handed back the watch.
Sorry I can't help more.
Well, you're cooking dinner. That's helping.
I'm glad you think so. I doubt Vladimir does.
He's under a lot of stress right now.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's extra low for Dai to do this. Not that she's a delight normally, but this just feels extra cruel.
Yeah, I hope Melody will be alright.
Katashi will take good care of her. And I think Nicholas has a secret soft spot for her.
At least we know that she'll have a doctor if she gets sick.
But she's missing out on my experimental food creations.
Oh, 9. Katashi wouldn't give her breakfast cake.
Exactly! I'm clearly where the fun is.
Shizuka had that cooking to get on with, and since she didn't have any insights about the watch, I felt somewhat disheartened. I decided to go back to my quarters. It was about time I called Ai, so we could talk about Dai and her programming. Sat on the bed with the papers and tablets sprawled over the bed. Bzz, bzz. Nothing. Still nothing. Ah, this is so frustrating. Okay, I need to calm down. Getting angry isn't going to solve anything. I threw myself back on the bed and stared at the ceiling for a long time before I suddenly bathed in the warm glow of Ai's holographic interface.
I am sorry to interrupt.
Don't worry about it, Ai. You weren't interrupting anything. What's up?
I found some more information that may be useful against Dai.
It's wonderful. What is it?
I've discovered that it's possible to input the deactivation code into any terminal, including your personal tablets.
You know anything else about the deactivation code? I shook her head.
Unfortunately, I didn't learn anything else. I tried to access more information, but even with my administrator privileges, I was unable to proceed any further.
Well, at least we know where we can input the code once we know what it is.
I am glad you are pleased.
It isn't perfect, but it's a step in the right direction.
I must return to my duties.
Of course, thanks for the update, Ai. I bowed and faced out of my quarters. Evacuated from any tablet or terminal, huh? At least now I knew that I wouldn't need a higher clearance level. Probably going to have to dig up some information on Ayumu, if I want to work out this code. There was no help for it now, though. The captain was on the other team. Das was schiefgelaufen. The captain was in the other team, off limits for the duration of this round. I returned my attention to the watch. Come on, pull yourself together. You need to work this out. I sifted through my parents' papers and tablets to see if I had missed anything. After a surprisingly restful night, I woke up Wednesday morning feeling refreshed. The conversation with Ai had given me some sense of purpose. I decided to go to the dining hall. My enthusiasm to get the day going, I left my tablet in my quarters. I'd forgotten to look at it. Uh-oh. And see who was where. I had just walked into the dining hall, and if someone from the other team wasn't there, I walked back out without saying anything. I needn't have worried. Vladimir was in there alone. He was reading from his tablet, with a cup of coffee beside him. He looked like a father on a leisurely Sunday morning. Not my father, of course, but the way I imagined most fathers were. Good morning, Vladimir. You look relaxed.
Hello. I wouldn't say I'm relaxed, but I'm not as stressed as I have been.
That's great. Did I report in about Melody?
She did. Apparently, she's been drawing a lot, and she's very excited because she's going to be helping Nicholas today.
Helping with what?
Well, nobody's in need of surgery, so thankfully that isn't an option. He'll probably get her to count something or sort things. That's what I do when she comes to the lab with me.
Anyway, I'm sure she'll be very helpful. Vladimir smiled, but I could see from his eyes that it was something of an effort for him. Where's Shizuka and the captain? Have you seen them today? Vladimir explained that Shizuka was in the kitchen and that the captain hadn't come for breakfast just yet, which he noted was odd, since she's normally an early riser. She's grieving.
That is most likely, so I'm not too worried. She needs her space and some time.
Clearly, Vladimir was as okay as he could be under the circumstances. I wanted to check on the rest of my team. Shizuka was right nearby, but I wasn't concerned about her too much. On the other hand, the captain wasn't well. I have to go searching for her. Look for the captain. The obvious place to look for the captain was her quarters. Press the button for her intercom.
Come in.
Her croaky voice. Didn't manage to call out very loudly, but I managed to hear it, and the fit of coughing that followed it. Let myself in, and I found her sitting on the edge of her bed. She was half dressed and looked like she was halfway through the process of putting her hair up. Are you alright?
I'm fine.
She didn't look fine. She was pale, with a sweaty sheen all over. Her eyes weren't focusing on face.
Excuse my disheveled look. I'll be ready and back to work very soon.
That's okay. You can take as long as you need to. Still looking like the Walking Dead. The captain stood up, but before she could take a whole step, she collapsed. I tried to catch her before she hit the floor, but I was too slow. I rushed over to her. Oh. Captain? Kimiko? Kimmy? She didn't respond to me. I felt her cheek and forehead with the back of my hand. Her skin looked pale, but she was very warm. I checked her pulse, fast but starting to slow. Aye?
Yes? How can I assist you?
The captain is sick. I need to get her to the medic bay.
Indeed. Have you checked her vitals?
As much as I can in here. Nicholas and Beatrix aren't allowed to talk to us, so I need you to help me treat her.
Of course.
Is the medic bay empty?
Yes. Nicholas and Beatrix are elsewhere.
Picked up the captain, careful not to jolt her too much, in case she hit her head when she'd fallen. She'd hit the ground very hard.
Take her to the medic bay. I will notify Team B that the area is out of bounds and that they must not interfere.
Thanks, I. Grabbed her jacket and carried the captain through empty corridors and into the medic bay. Still being careful with her, I got her lying on a bed and made sure she was comfortable. A lot of elements to the monitor equipment, and I didn't know how to arrange things to check her vitals. Thankfully, I reappeared as I was looking at the dials.
None of Team B will come here.
Thank you. Can you tell me how this works? What do I do?
Many of the vitals will be automatically measured once the diagnostic bed is on. However, that band should be placed around the arm.
I did as I told me, turning the dials and then switching on the machine. Okay, I see a lot of numbers. That's her pulse rate and her temperature, right?
Correct. It appears the captain has a minor chest infection.
Was? So it's not serious?
It is not a dangerous pathogen. I hypothesize that it is weak enough for the average immune system to fight. It's possible that it has been in her system for some time, and her recent stress has reduced her immune responses.
Just stress can do that?
It can.
Huh?
Turned back to look at the captain properly. She'd woken up and was looking around the room, trying to get her bearings. She saw her jacket on a bench beside the bed and swiftly put it on.
What happened?
Collapsed. I think the run down is stressed and it's made you sick. But it isn't serious.
I can't be sick. I need to...
You need to rest.
Okay, I'm sick. But why are you here? You're not a doctor.
Danke. Aww. Care about you. I instinctively put my hand over hers. I care about you. Slight blush of color spread over her pale cheeks. I'm really worried about you. Pushing yourself too hard. Hope you get better quickly.
They're my responsibility.
Can't look after other people if you're not well.
I don't have time.
You're too busy to take care of yourself, then I'll gladly take care of you. Captain was taken aback by how forward I was just. After an initial shock, a soft smile spread across her face.
Thank you.
I'll leave you to get some sleep. If you need anything, summon I and ask her to get me.
Okay.
I let her lie back and close her eyes, and then headed for the door. Yes.
Thank you. Really. It means a lot to me.
I decided to go back to my quarters to organize my thoughts. There was just too much going on. To watch the new relation gain with Di and with personal struggles of the crew. I needed to think about it all. I was almost back to my own room when I came across Vladimir. He was pacing back and forth in the hallway, muttering in Russian. What's wrong? Is it Melody?
I said she had to get a band-aid put on her knee.
Was she hurt badly? Band-aid didn't sound like much to worry about.
She tripped and fell in the eco lounge. I said she cried and kept asking for me.
Oh nein. Little scrapped knee wasn't such a big deal, but it must have been hard to know his child was wanting him and he couldn't go to hell. Sorry, Vladimir, this must be hard. Oh nein, is it just her knee?
I don't know. I can't know.
Was I worried?
I doesn't know what's worth worrying about.
I just meant that if it's only a scrapped knee, she'll be alright. She's safe.
I don't know that. How did she fall? Was anyone watching her? How do I know they're looking after her properly?
No, you're right, but it sounds like...
This game is ridiculous. And this whole situation is just stupid.
I was about to answer him, but he wasn't interested in hearing me. He just made a disgusted sound and marched away from me.
Good morning. Rise and shine, kids. This is your friendly neighborhood AI requesting you all to be at the dining room within half an hour, or else face the consequences. I repeat, we are ready. All systems are go. This is not a drill. Get to that dining room in 29 minutes and 25 seconds.
What? Where was I and what was happening? Been asleep, fast asleep, and fairly peacefully for once. No spinning clocks, no day laughing as he killed me. Di, what was going on? Di's voice had woken me up as I screeched out of the intercom. As it screeched out of the intercom. I turned on the light so I could see the time. 3:25 a.m. Seriously? I managed to drag myself out of bed and start the confusing process of getting dressed in the middle of the night. Kept myself from thinking about sleep by trying to figure out what we're all being summoned for. Couldn't be the deletion game, because we weren't scheduled to start playing until Sunday. I might have suddenly changed the rules, but she hadn't done that before. Unless it was because of someone had broken a rule, but who would do that? We didn't know what the punishment was, so why risk it? Oh no. I remember Vladimir's angry outburst and his declaration that our situation was stupid. Maybe he had broken the rules by taking it to Melody. What would the punishment be for that? And surely I wouldn't punish Melody. She was just a child. They had given us half an hour to get to the dining hall, but I didn't want to risk being late or even the last person to arrive. Attracting Dice's attention was the last thing I wanted to do. The second I was dressed, I hurried outside. On the way to the dining hall, I saw the captain. She was still sick and not moving very fast, but as I came up beside her, I saw that she at least looked awake and alert. How are you feeling?
Quite healthy. Until Di woke me. What do you think is happening?
My guess is that someone broke the no communication rule and spoke to someone on the other team. My money's on Vladimir.
Yes, I have to agree.
She walked to the dining hall together, and when we got there, Vladimir and Shizuka were already sitting down. On the other side of the table, the twins hadn't shown up yet. Katashi and Melody were there. Katashi was trying to comfort Melody, who was sobbing under his armpit.
Your dad is right over there, see? He's okay.
What happened?
I couldn't handle it. I had to see her.
Don't beat yourself up. I don't think you were supposed to handle it.
It sucked that Melody couldn't even be with her father while Dai made the punishment announcement. At least Katashi was there. He looked barely conscious, but he was there. The door opened and Nicholas and Beatrix came in together.
Forget Dai's stupid games. I will personally execute whoever's responsible for this.
They appeared as so summoned by Beatrix's light.
My games? Stupid. How dare you?
Dai's attitude quickly shifted to interest.
That being said, I am interested to watch you execute someone. How will you do it, Trixie?
Tisk.
Tisk.
I bet you are a strangler. Are you, Trixie? A strangler?
Let's just sit down and get this over with.
Beatrix glared at the room, lingering on Vladimir, just impassively stared back.
As I'm sure you are already aware, the rule forbidding communication between teams has been broken, which is why you've all been summoned here this morning.
This isn't fair!
All the rules were clearly explained, and an opportunity was given to ask for repeats and clarifications. What's not fair about that?
Separating a child and her father isn't fair.
Ah, yes, but life is not fair. Fate. She is a cruel mistress. Oh, hey, what do you know? So am I! But sometimes I can be generous, and so, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, or this morning, or whatever this is, I present to you, courtesy of the rule-breaking Vladimir, the punishment. That's right, you get a punishment.
Dai pointed at Vladimir. She stood still for a moment before continuing.
And you get a punishment.
Dai pointed at Kimiko.
And you get a punishment.
Dai pointed at me.
Everybody gets a punishment. What? Congratulations to all our winners.
But we didn't break the rules. That's not fair.
I'm hearing that word a lot today. Fair this, fair that. Wah, wah. It's kind of a drag. Really ruins the tone of this whole event.
You can't punish everyone just because one person broke the rules.
Trixie dear, I can punish whoever I want, whenever I want. Secondly, the punishment has to be applied to everyone because this is a team game.
Then punish the team that broke the rules.
I will. And also the other team. I don't know what all this fuss is about. It's actually a pretty fun punishment. If I was you, I would be dying with anticipation for this. And the exciting event is coming to you live right here, right now. It's...
The room felt completely silent as we waited with bated breath.
the deletion game!
I spread her arms theatrically as we made this declaration. The room remained silent.
What?
But we're not ready. We haven't had time to prepare.
So, it's no skin off my nose.
But don't you want the game to be interesting? 8 tired people doing the first thing they can think of won't be very exciting.
I considered this for a few moments.
Good point. This is why you're the captain. I will allow you 10 minutes for strategy meetings. Team A stays here. Team B will meet in the kitchen.
Diesmal nur 10 Minuten. What? Oh.
Disperse!
Team E got off their seats and filed past us, slow and slouching. We all sat in silence, struggling to wake up, let alone handle the situation. It wasn't long before Dai reappeared and asked us for a first point location. Huh? Das kam jetzt auch überraschend.
Is everyone in agreement?
Yes. Yep. Let's go with this.
Thank you for your entry. Please exit the dining hall so that stinky Team B can assign their points.
Quickly shuffled out of the dining hall and Team B entered for their turn. After a few tense minutes of waiting, Team B exited the dining hall. I followed, boisterous as usual.
Wonderful start to the bidding wars. Both teams are fighting hard. Now let's see the results of round 1. If you would be so kind as to draw your attention to this screen.
I projected the screen using the same light as you must made of.
And the winner of round 1 is... Congrats, Team A! Strong start. Your tablets will now display your team's individual points.
Nice.
The suspense is killing me. Let's move on to round 2. Team A, you are up again. Please follow me. Your 5 minutes starts now.
Okay, we started strong. Let's keep this up.
Your suggestions for this round? My suggestions are... Put the allocation...
Thank you for your entry. Please exit the dining hall so that stinky Team B can assign their points. If you would be so kind as to draw your attention to this screen.
And the winner of round 2 is...
Ah! Team A, you are my hero! Let's move on to round 3 then. Team A, you are up again. Please follow me.
They appeared to walk through the wall as we made our way back into the dining hall.
Your 5 minutes starts now.
So far so good. We might be safe.
One more round before we can count our chickens. Heading into the final battle, what should we do?
Gehen wir wieder mit den Ohren. And for the allocations using...
Let's get straight to the results.
So, wir haben gewonnen.
Congratulations, Team A! After 3 rounds, you have come out victorious.
So, und wer ist jetzt der arme Schlucker auf der anderen Seite?
And that means, Team B, you lose. Congrats!
I'm so sorry.
No. No. I can't have lost.
Beatrix leapt from her chair, pointing at her team.
You guys screwed me.
Now, Trixie. No one likes a sore loser.
This isn't fair.
Beatrix, I'm sorry. No one wants this.
Nicholas became desperate as his sister was now set to be executed.
What if we swap places? I'll die. I volunteer.
Das kommt mir irgendwie bekannt vor.
No, you can't.
I will. If it'll save you.
Nope, not swapsies. Sorries.
But I want to.
Well, you can't. Rules are rules. And besides, this coupon is good for one Beatrix. No substitutions allowed.
Beatrix was glaring at her whole team and had turned her anger onto the rest of us as well.
I'm a medic. What will you do if we're both gone, huh? You can't get by without us.
Felt bad for Beatrix. It wasn't like we'd taken a vote and decided to kill her. She just lost the game and it could have happened to any of us.
This isn't fair.
Yawn. How many times are you gonna say that? It is fair, sister. So suck it up and spin that wheel.
The ice big wheel of deaths appeared and she gestured to it.
Come on, give it a spin.
I can't touch it, you moron.
And you never will, with that negative attitude. Don't worry, Trixie. I'll spin it for you.
I reached up and pretended to grab the wheel and spin it. It flashed and changed colors at its spawn, blurring so we couldn't read the options as they passed the indicator.
Whoops. Looks like I pushed a little too hard. It may never stop spinning at this rate. How about you tell me when to stop and I grab it?
Beatrix was sitting back down, glaring daggers at Di and not saying anything.
No? Geez, awkward. Guess we'll just have to wait.
We must have spun for 2 minutes before it finally started to slow down.
Ooh, here we are. Will you just look at some of these exciting options? Can't wait to see where we end up.
We slowed again as Di pulled more and more ludicrous surprise faces, like she wasn't in control of the whole thing.
And the winner is poison.
Again?
Huh. That's actually kind of boring. But rules are rules. And what do we do when there's rules, Nicholas?
Not break them.
You got it, handsome.
Di pointed dramatically to the door.
To the medical bay.
Now so any choice but to follow her out into the corridor.
Beatrix, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you keep saying.
She won't let me swap. But maybe there's some other way.
In the face of Nicholas' desperation, Beatrix suddenly mellowed. Once I saw the older sister come out in her.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think maybe we can't win this one, little brother.
No. No. There has to be something we can...
Nicholas, there isn't. Will you look at that? I'm actually being the reasonable one.
Nicholas started to plead with Di, bargaining for his sister's life.
Di? Di, this isn't right. Why can't we?
Nicholas.
I'll die. Right now, right here. I'll find a way to...
I think if you did that, Di would kill Beatrix anyway.
I agree. I don't think suicide will solve anything.
They're right. Nicholas, little brother, no suicide. I forbid it.
Here we are.
When I arrived in the medical bay, we gathered in a cluster by the door, waiting to see what Di was going to do. She couldn't physically give Beatrix any poison, so how was it going to work?
Nicholas, if you would step into the surgery room, we can get started.
I thought you said we couldn't swap.
Well, I did say rules are rules, but I'm not unmoved by your brave offer. So, into the room with you.
Nicholas moved towards the door.
No. No, please.
Too late. Get in.
Beatrix pulled her brother into a hug as he moved towards the door. She didn't say anything to him, but her face was bright red from the efforts of not crying. Nicholas stepped into the surgery room and Di locked the door behind him.
Nicholas.
Not so fast. Time for a game within a game, I call it. Double Jeopardy.
What? Di, what are you...
Just having a little bit of fun. I've shut down the oxygen to the surgery room. Beatrix Vogel, can you administer yourself a lethal poison dose before your brother runs out of air?
No.
By my count, you have 3 minutes to make yourself dead. Or you could hold out until your brother dies, at which point one of the others will force you.
I didn't need to explain how that would work. She'd threaten everyone until someone killed Beatrix.
What's it to be? 1 death or 2? Let's find out. 2 minutes, 45 seconds.
Beatrix looked at her brother inside the surgical room. He was sitting on bed, peering through the observation window at us. He seemed to be trying to read lips, which meant Dai must have cut the sound so he couldn't hear what we were saying.
Did I mention you need to be 100% dead before I turn his oxygen back on? You've got 2.5 minutes.
Beatrix ran into the storeroom.
I knew there must be a way to jazz up a poisoning.
There was a loud clattering from inside the storeroom. It sounded like Beatrix had knocked something over.
All right, I'm ready to take bets. I'll give you 3 to 1 that Trixie makes it in time. No one? What about 11 to 1 that she deliberately lets her brother die?
Real funny, Di.
Not a gambling crowd, eh?
Beatrix emerged from the storeroom, a bottle in hand filled with dark liquid.
We need to get to the kitchen ASAP. I need to mix this with a chemical from the kitchen.
Beatrix ran as quickly as she could towards the kitchen. The rest of us followed quickly after, leaving Nicholas alone and confused in the medical bay. Made it to the kitchen, where we saw Beatrix hurriedly mixing liquids on the counter. What are you mixing?
I won't tell you fools, then you can poison yourselves.
Beatrix quickly sat down at the kitchen island.
Beatrix Vogel, you have served the Everett and the mission with honor.
Beatrix lifted her glass, now a golden yellow in color, and began drinking the concoction.
We will remember that, and the courage you are showing today.
Thank you.
Beatrix blinked a few times and began to fall backwards off her chair.
Whoa! It's okay, Beatrix, I got you.
Put a strong grip on Beatrix and helped her to sit back up straight.
That's quicker than I... Ah!
Beatrix leaned forwards, bracing herself on the table. Didn't know what kind of poison she used, but it must have been quick acting and painful.
Ah! Oh, my head!
Salute!
Vladimir turned Melody to face him, while the rest of the crew, except Katashi, who was still beside her, honored Beatrix with a salute. The captain was right. This was a courageous act, and however abrasive Beatrix might have been, she was brave and loyal to her brother.
I can't see. I can't see.
Her eyes were wide open. She was reaching out feebly for Katashi. He was holding onto her when the first spasm came. Katashi held her down. Shizuka ducked under his arm and took one of Beatrix's hands in her.
Oh God, oh,
Squeeze my hand. It's okay.
Nicholas.
He's okay. He's still breathing.
We will take care of him, Beatrix. I promise.
Ist das gleiche CG vom letzten Mal? Ich glaube schon, ja. Eigentlich macht das keinen Sinn. Ich wollte... Das Glas und die Flasche müssen auch eine Projektion von Dai sein. Didn't know if Beatrix was still conscious enough to hear the captain. Whole body jolting in another spasm. She didn't cry out in pain.
She's got no grip.
Beatrix.
And the spasm seemed to have stopped.
Beatrix!
Katashi put his ear to her chest and a hand in front of her mouth and nose.
She's not breathing.
Woo! Now that's what I call a show. Encore! Encore!
She's dead. Di, let him out.
Very well. Rules are rules. The surgery door is now open and oxygen restored to that room.
Kimiko and I hurried back to the medical bay. Nicholas was conscious, but the quick, hurried breaths made a wheezing sound as his body was still in panic mode. The captain and I eased him gradually to a sitting position.
She...
I'm so sorry, Nicholas.
Can I...
You want to see her?
Nicholas just nodded. Between the two of us, we were able to help him stand up and walk to the kitchen, where the others stood gathered around Beatrix, who was laid out over the bench. Melody held out her hand to touch Beatrix's limp arm.
She was so sad.
We should go back to our quarters.
Nicholas?
Yes.
I'm sorry that Beatrix has gone away.
I couldn't handle it. I had to see her. Come on. Let's go home.
See you tomorrow, bright and early for a brand new game.
Vladimir squeezed Melody's hand and led her out of the room before Dai could say any more.
All right. Katashi, can you please help Nicholas with her body?
Can I have a minute with her?
Of course. Everyone out.
Captain led the way out of the kitchen, and those of us who remained stood around the corridor silent. Eventually, the captain spoke.
I suppose we should disperse. Katashi, can you wait here for when Nicholas is ready?
Of course.
Everyone else, let him have space. Don't try to push him to talk or anything.
We each went our separate ways, most of us to our quarters, to hide away and wonder who Dai would take next. So, chapter 3. So. Haben wir noch... Hier müssen wir irgendwie noch sterben können. Hier sterben, Bidding Wars verlieren, Bidding Wars verlieren. Hier Person Nummer 2 aus unserem Team verlieren. Wäre das wieder Wladimir oder Shizuka? Dann müssten wir langsam das Passwort haben und dann überall eintragen und gucken, wo wir dann landen. Da kommen wir bestimmt hier hin. So. Dann wünsche ich euch noch eine gute Nacht und bis zum nächsten Mal.